Oleh karena itu, mari kita mulai belajar menerima seutuhnya, bukan hanya yang positifnya. Karena pada hal negatif pun, pada yang datang negatif pun, pasti di situ mengandung pesan yang penting dalam pembelajaran kehidupan kita. Daripada positive thinking yang akan bisa menjadi toxic positivity, mari kita belajar untuk pikiran kita atau thinking kita di wilayah netral. Tapi lebih kepada feeling kita yang positif. Mari kita belajar untuk clear seeing. Terima kasih.
A very great morning for you, and of course, happy Friday. Welcome to our program. We're here at the C Morning Show. As always, we already have a jam-packed show get ready for you today. It is going to be a weekend coming on very soon, but first of all, I would like to mention that today is the second month of the year already, and the second day of this month goes fast, so fast, the days and the time that we have been right here in the 2024. And as always, it is a great pleasure for you, and it's a great pleasure for us to say good morning to you and deliver you the morning news. We have top stories from around the world, Southeast Asia region, and also Indonesia. We have a couple of a very interesting and surprising update from the sports segments, business, and also a talk show where today we're going to talk about an inspiring, and we already invited an inspiring person right here that dwells in the eco-friendly organization. So we have more to come right there. I'm Caroline Sarahmat. Of course, I'm not alone, even though we're wearing blue. It's now blue today right here, Friday in the capital city. We have Archie and also Indra right here in the studio. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Wow, you guys looking sharp, by the way.
I kind of miss a little bit blue.
I know. We look like Earth, right? With the blue and then with the brown on it.
Yeah.
I guess that's what they're going for.
That's right.
Well, good morning and good morning everybody at home. I'm your host Indra Marpao, and in addition to what Carol just mentioned, we'll have the special talk show, and we have an Indonesian band too coming up later. I'm looking forward for that one. Make sure you stay tuned for that, so you can always connect with us on our social media at C Today News on Instagram, X, and on YouTube.
Yes, and I'm your host Archie Pramasora, and I'd like to greet our viewers who are now able to tune in from Foxtel's Flash Australia, Macau Cable TV Channel 84, Vision Philippines Channel 58, Air Cable Philippines, and Singtel Singapore Channel 15, and also StarHub Channel 720. All right, so let's start the show with our headlines.
And one of the latest updates from our world news, the bodies of at least 3 people reported killed in airstrikes overnight were brought to Najjar Hospital in the Gaza Strip on Thursday.
Thailand Constitutional Court has ordered the Move Forward Party to stop the campaign to change the Lese-Majesté law and move that would spell downfall for the party.
A lack of bridges in the area is forcing locals in the village of North Maluku's West Halmahera Regency to risk their lives daily.
And as just mentioned by Indra, later on we're going to have a chat with the Changchutas about their new single and their 20-year journey in music. I can't believe, because I remember I saw them when I was in high school. I mean, probably you were still in elementary, or you're just still toddler Archie right there. But yes, 20 years in the music industry right here in Indonesia. They don't age a bit, right? They look just particularly the same.
Just the same. Yeah.
I thought they're new members.
Oh, I mean,
I thought they regenerate.
why not? It must be the stem cells, right?
Probably. It's the trend right now.
I know.
All right, folks. And first up, with the headline, the bodies of at least 3 people reported killed in airstrikes overnight were brought to Najjar Hospital in the Gaza Strip on Thursday.
Gaza's health ministry announced that the toll from the Israel nearly 4-month offensive in the enclave surpassed the 27,000 mark. Palestinians killed and more than 66,000 were reported wounded.
The numbers of deaths has grown by more than 1,100 since the International Criminal Court in Hague, a week ago ordered Israel to do all it can to prevent death, destruction, and any acts of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Israel denies the genocide accusation brought against it at the court by South Africa and says it is fighting to destroy Gaza's Hamas rulers.
The case before the court is likely to take years before the final ruling. The ministry said 27,019 Palestinians had been killed and 66,139 wounded since October 7th. It did not specify the number of women and children among the dead, but previous counts, they have constituted up to 2/3 of the toll.
The ministry's count does not differentiate between civilians and combatants. Israel says it has killed thousands of Hamas militants in the war without providing the basis for their count.
Furthermore, the head of UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, Felipe Lazzarini, met with Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi in Amman on Thursday as the crisis deepens over the alleged role of some of the agency's staff in October the 7th attacks on Israel.
At the meeting, al-Safadi and Lazzarini called on countries that suspended their aid to the agency to reverse their decision, according to a statement by the Jordanian Foreign Ministry.
The United States and more than a dozen other countries have announced plans to suspend contributions to the agency, also known as UNRWA, after Israel alleged that 12 of its thousands of workers participated in the October 7 attacks.
Al-Safadi and Lazzarini both stressed the need for the international community to take immediate steps to support UNRWA, saying the agency plays an indispensable role for Palestinian refugees and represent the lifeline for more than 2 million Palestinians in Gaza.
Lazzarini also confirmed that the agency began an immediate investigation into the accusation and terminated the contracts of the accused employees. On Wednesday, an array of UN organizations warned of catastrophic consequences for the people of Gaza if key donor countries don't resume funding for the UN agency for Palestinian refugees, the main lifeline for people in the besieged territory.
So the allegation have not been made publicly, and there's a dossier that Israeli intelligence created from signal intercepts and other such thing within which they claim that they have identified earlier 12 of the people within Gaza who were employed by UNRWA who were involved in the October 7 crossfire raid, and were 12 others inside Israel were killed. And these are Israel's allegation again, and for which we have not seen any evidence. But on the other hand, the international community has taken incredible serious allegation, and then they're taking out their supports. And the United States, which is primary funders of the UNRWA, said it will pause this disbursement of any more aids, and 14 other countries have followed. Now, so with this, so now they have 443 million US dollars in whole, with the budget of $1 billion US dollar budget that they needed for UNRWA, and then it's a much needed. I mean, we're talking about 443 million. It's not a small number, so
yeah, definitely needed right now for the aid, itself. And then in 2022, because you like numbers in there, 44.3% of the agency's total pledges of 1.17 billion US dollars came from the EU members of states, who contributed 500.2 520.3 million US dollars. This includes funds allocated by the institution by European Commissions. You were mentioning before, Archie, that there are these donor countries that are suspending the funding for UNRWA, United States, and mostly all the EU countries. And then without their donors and without their fundings, they can't do anything. As of right now, we know other than 25,000 more deaths in Gaza, but a lot of injured now in Gaza Strip itself, and they do need this humanitarian aid, not only food and necessities, but medical supplies and whatnot. And all of those are basically all drawn to UNRWA. So without those funding, there can't be help. And this, this action or this acquisition from Israel came after the ruling of the International Court of Justice. So we are going to have a further update in regards to that stories later on in our program. But right now we're coming back right here to Indonesia, where 3 stores and a home in Tambora, West Jakarta, were gutted by fire yesterday.
Flames were first seen on a power line which may have been starting out before quickly spreading.
80 firefighters and locals put out the blaze within 1 hour. One firefighter was injured in the eyes and is currently under treatment.
Meanwhile, Lampung police have arrested 8 members of drug boss Freddy Pratama's ring and seized almost 40 kilograms of meth.
The police announced on Wednesday that the group was arrested on January the 14th. 3 were nabbed in Bakauheni Port, 2 at rental homes in South Lampung and Bandar Lampung, and 3 in East Jakarta. Freddy Pratama himself remains at large.
Barang bukti yang berhasil kita amankan, yang pertama adalah 60 bungkus narkotika jenis sabu. Setelah kita timbang dan seterusnya, ini seberat kurang lebih 38,19 kg. Kemudian ada 5 unit kendaraan ada di depan sana yang digunakan sebagai alat untuk membawa, dan kendaraan ini ternyata sudah dimodifikasi sedemikian rupa.
All right, folks, we're now up for our first short break, but when we return, we have news from around Indonesia. So stick with us only on the C Morning Show.
The Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the daily dose of entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's
Yeah,
actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep!
Anjay, aku deport sih.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah! Baru kali ini.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu. Tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu, dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mars.
Pemain!
so spicy.
Absolutely delicious. You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Hello, everyone. We do have a couple of updates in regards to the general election right here in Indonesia. But before that, we do have some local updates. We begin with our first story where investigations are ongoing for the blast earlier this week at the hospital run by Semen Padang, West Sumatra.
A joint team from Riau and West Sumatra Police combed the building again yesterday and questions witnesses.
On Thursday, a joint team from Riau West Sumatra Police probed the Semen Padang Hospital as a part of the investigation into the blast on Tuesday. Apart from collecting clues relevant to the investigations, officers also questioned multiple witnesses, including security guards and technicians.
Jadi tim Lab 4 ini memeriksa mulai dari rooftop sampai dengan titik ledakan yang di lantai 1. Semua mereka menyusuri tentunya teknis yang mereka lakukan. Ada tentunya selain pemeriksaan teknis juga dilengkapi dengan saksi-saksi. Jadi saksi-saksi yang sudah kita kumpulkan, sudah kita ambil keterangan itu juga membantu di sana.
The number of injured has risen to 18 from the initial 2. See Today contributor reporting from Padang, West Sumatra.
Coming up next, a lack of bridges in the area is forcing locals in the village of North Maluku's West Halmahera Regency to risk their lives daily.
Every day, villagers, especially school children, have to brave the currents to perform their daily activities with help from soldiers.
Mari, ayo, naik. Naik. Ayo, jalan, ayo.
Some locals and school children in Todowangi village, West Halmahera, have to brave the currents every day just to go to school or perform their daily activities. In the main village, some 2 kilometers from their neighborhood. Soldiers stationed in the village provide assistance to the villagers, long troubled by the lack of bridges across the river.
Akan melewat sungai. Menyangkut dengan akses jalan, menyangkut dengan melewati sungai ini, memang kami masyarakat RT 04 juga sangat melihat dengan kondisi yang ada ini, menyangkut dengan tompe ibu-ibu yang lewat untuk menyeberang ini dengan anak-anak sekolah, sehingga oleh karena itu kami masyarakat RT 04 sangat mengharapkan atas mohon ada bantuan dari pemerintah daerah.
The locals are now hoping that the government will step in and develop a proper infrastructure, especially amid the rainy season. See Today contributor reporting from West Halmahera, North Maluku.
Former Political, Legal and Security Affairs Coordinating Minister Mahfud MD announced he is stepping down yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
Karena saya sekarang ikut kontestasi politik untuk melanjutkan estafeta kepemimpinan nasional yang harus terus berjalan, maka saya mohon berhenti. Lalu yang ketiga, Bapak Presiden, saya mohon maaf kalau selama membantu Bapak saya ada kekurangan yang mungkin tidak berkenan di hati Bapak Presiden. Jadi itu yang saya sampaikan. Jawaban Presiden, ya beliau juga waktu pertemuan tadi happy, beliau banyak bergurau, saya juga tersenyum, gembira, ya seperti teman lama lah. Beliau gembira, ya Pak Mahfud, saya ini terima surat ini dulu, katanya. Terus selama ini saya juga berterima kasih Pak Mahfud sudah membantu dan saya merasa terbantu itu. Kemudian saya juga minta maaf kalau ada saya keliru-keliru, jadi saling minta maaf itu budaya adiluhung Indonesia kan begitu, saling minta maaf, saling berterima kasih gitu. Nah, di luar itu saya menyampaikan substansi urusan Kominfo Polhukam yang sekarang sedang berjalan. Yang rutin-rutin berjalan dikendalikan oleh 7 kedeputian yang sekarang masih aktif terus bekerja semuanya di bawah koordinasi teknis Bapak Letjen Teguh Pujo Rumokso. Sesmenko sudah mengendalikan jika saya sedang cuti.
All right, folks, so now let's have a quick look at the updates regarding the upcoming Indonesian general election on Indonesia Vote 2024.
And yes, we begin with presidential candidate Anies Rashid Baswedan campaign in Deli Serdang, North Sumatra on Thursday.
Anies was accompanied by National Democrats leader Surya Paloh and chief executive of his campaign in the province, Edi Rahmayadi.
In his remarks, Anies described North Sumatra as a key vote-getter and again stressed the need for change for a fairer community.
He also underlined the importance of affordable food, availability of fertilizers, stronger efforts against corruption, and ease of getting work.
Mereka menginginkan agar kehidupan bernegara dikembalikan kewarasannya. Adab, etika dijunjung tinggi. Negara dijaga kehormatannya. Itu harapan luar biasa kuat. Yang kedua, kebutuhan hidup yang terjangkau. Harga beras yang mahal, kebutuhan pokok yang mahal, itu yang mereka ungkapkan. Lalu, lapangan pekerjaan yang tersedia. Lapangan pekerjaan lewat investasi yang padat karya, bukan investasi hanya yang padat modal. Dan itu semua adalah prioritas kami.
On the same day, Prabowo Subianto attended a rally in Malang's Gajayana Stadium organized by the Democratic Party.
In his remarks, Prabowo hailed the Democrats for their support, which he credited with helping him to feel stronger and more confident.
He promised to make the party a part of his government if elected, and also a strategic position for party leader Agus Harimurti Yudhoyono.
Akan saya beri tugas yang sangat strategis dan sangat penting. Kita butuh putra-putri terbaik dari semua bangsa, dari semua suku, dari semua agama, dari semua ras. Kita butuh putra-putri terbaik bangsa untuk membangun bangsa ini, untuk mengelola kekayaan kita, untuk menghilangkan kemiskinan dari bangsa Indonesia. Saudara-saudara sekalian, sekali lagi, terima kasih dukungan saudara-saudara sekalian.
Meanwhile, Ganjar Pranowo continued his campaign trail to North Sulawesi, where he visited the Tomohon market and met with traders and consumers.
In his speech, presidential candidate Ganjar Pranowo underscored his commitment to provide affordable staple foods for the public. The promise came following recent complaints from the traders and consumers amid the soaring prices of commodities.
The former Central Java governor also promised that if elected as president, he will further collaborate with relevant stakeholders and agencies to maintain the stability of food commodity prices.
Sebenarnya sistem informasinya yang mesti ada ya. Kalau saya kasih contoh, waktu itu kami dibantu BI di Jawa Tengah ada si Hakim sistem informasi harga komoditi. Kalau itu bisa kita ketahui, maka peredaran atau pergerakan barang bisa dipantau dari pasar. Nah, ketika terjadi kekurangan, maka ditambah lagi produksi ada di mana. Itulah perdagangan antar daerah. Sebenarnya stabilisasi itu hanya butuh kita bicaranya telaten. Tiap hari menginformasikan, tiap hari komunikasi, dan perdagangan antar daerah mesti ditingkatkan. Maka kalau ada dashboard system yang bisa dipakai untuk memantau terus-menerus, saya kira tindakannya akan lebih cepat.
Those were the updates for the upcoming election here in Indonesia, and with that we're going for a break. After the break, we'll have Carol set to bring you some of the sports updates. What do you have for us today?
Definitely, we have some NBA updates coming up, and of course, because we have Archie here, something in regards to Formula One. Yes, Lewis Hamilton has been with Mercedes since he was 13 years old and 39. He has a great surprise for you all. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right here on the C Morning Show Sports. This is coming up next.
China Earthquake Network Center reported that the quake rocked the Ertupen County in Aksu Prefecture shortly after 2 a.m. local time.
Minister January Makamba was a guest in one of our news programs, a 3-hour news show yesterday. While he was in the studio, he used the opportunity to explain the current state of diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Indonesia.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir, dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir, dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different than baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Satu bukit sampai elevasi gua hari itu nyentuh 4.000-an lah.
I kind of want to die.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
The Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the daily dose of entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hello folks, so welcome back to our program. Yes, as mentioned before, we have some sports updates, but let me just read you a piece from BBC.com that has just been published. This is by Lewis Hamilton, who said he was so proud of the success that he had achieved 11 years with Mercedes. He also said, as I quote, "Mercedes has been a part of my life since I was 13 years old, but it's the right time for me to take another step, and I'm excited to be taking on a new challenge on my life." And the 7-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton will make a surprise move to Ferrari for the 2025 season. Mercedes have issued a statement confirming Hamilton had activated the release clause in his contract and will leave at the end of the season. Now, Hamilton has raced for Mercedes since 2013 and signed a contract extension with the team last year. That deal appeared to end speculation over Hamilton's future, potentially seeing him through or to the end of his career, but rumors linking him with Ferrari have surfaced. The Italian team could have likely a vacancy for 2025 with Carlos Sainz's contract due to expire at the end of the current year. Ferrari's other driver, Charles Leclerc, recently agreed a new long-term deal. The move by Hamilton will end an extraordinarily successful partnership which saw him winning 6 world titles between 2014 to 2020. However, Mercedes have since fallen off the pace and Hamilton has not won a race since 2021. So this is definitely a very big step, and there's a lot of prediction. People are saying that with Ferrari, Hamilton will end his career there, and who would not want to end their career with the legendary Ferrari. And next up, we have some NBA update where Anthony Simmons scored 24 points, including a key floater with 70.1 seconds left, and the Trail Blazers spoiled former teammate Damian Lillard returned to Portland with 119-116 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks on Wednesday night. Lillard finished with 25 points for the Bucks in their second straight loss under new coach Doc Rivers. Giannis Antetokounmpo added 27 points and 8 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton had 20 points and 11 rebounds for the Blazers, who have won 2 straight. It was Lillard's first game in Portland since he was traded to the Bucks in the offseason. Lillard was the face of the Blazers franchise for his first 11 seasons in the NBA. Meanwhile, from the Valley, Kevin Durant scored 33 points in his return to Brooklyn, leading the Phoenix Suns to a 136-120 victory over the Nets on Wednesday night.
Phoenix Suns beat Brooklyn Nets 136-120 on Wednesday night. Kevin Durant added 8 assists in his first game in Brooklyn since being traded to Phoenix nearly a year ago. He got a mixed reception early before helping take the crowd out of it with 11 points in the third quarter when his Suns outscored the Nets 42-26 after leading by 3 at halftime. The Suns with Durant, David Brooker, and Bradley Beal are trying to build a little contender, while the Nets, who not long ago had their own big three with Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, are 19-28 and outside playoff position. Yusuf Nurkic added 28 points and 11 rebounds for the Suns, overwhelming an undersized net teams as the Suns won for the 9th time in 11 games. They improved to 3-2 on the trip that has tops remaining in Atlanta and Washington, Bill's former home. Brooker finished with a 22-point and Eric Gordon had 17. The Suns shot 62% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
And from the world of badminton, Indonesian women's doubles teams Febriana Dwi Puji Kusuma and Amalia Cahaya Pratiwi defeated their Chinese Taipei's counterparts in the round of 16 of Thailand Masters 2024 at the Nimbut Stadium, Bangkok on Thursday. Kusuma and Pratiwi dominated the first game over Su and Lin, which they closed out 21-14. The second game was a bit much tighter affair, but the Indonesian pair eventually prevailed with a score of 24-22. With this result, Kusuma and Pratiwi will face the Indian pair of Jolly and Gopichan in Friday's quarterfinal. Another Indonesian shuttler also advanced to the quarterfinals in the women's single. Esther Nurum Triwardoyo beat Wen Yu Zhang of Canada. Wardoyo triumphed in straight games 21-12, 21-14 in progress to the quarterfinals of the Thailand Masters 2024. And so we're here from Indonesia. The Indonesian football club Persib launched an access to its digital platform called Passport Planet Persib on Thursday in Bandung, West Java. This access will allow the Bandung-based club supporters to interact with players, experience a match in virtual real, and receive an exclusive merchandises.
A new approach approach to Indonesia football scene has arrived. On Thursday, football club Persib officially launched Passport Planet Persib, and access to its digital platform in Bandung, West Java. Recently, the Bandung-based club has built a digital ecosystem which allowed supporters to experience a virtual realm.
We really want to facilitate all of the fans' engagement in one platform, because the fact is the fans of Persib, what we call as bobotoh dalam bahasa Sunda. So bobotoh is actually like there are a lot of bobotoh across Indonesia and even beyond Indonesia. Like there were 14 millions and now it's growing, right? So this is something that is obviously a community as big as this is have a need of really have a deeper engagement with to show the support to their football club.
With this platform, supporters can interact directly with players, just like what being displayed in an interaction between player Beckham Putra and supporters who lived abroad. Supporters can also experience away match in virtual landscape since they can only attend home match. The experience also leads to offline benefits, including getting exclusive merchandise, match ticket priorities, even opportunities to own Persib stock in future.
Before we are doing this, we are doing a lot of research as well, and we're actually using McKinsey to do this, whether the bobotoh or the fan base, they are ready for the digital space, right? I mean, a long time ago, all this soccer industry or football industry, they just rely on the three pillars: selling merchandise, ticket sales, and sponsorship, right? So this is all the traditional business model. So now we're actually looking for the new avenue for the revenue stream. So we are tapping into this digital. I think this is the right time. If we bring this like 10 years ago, maybe even the fan is not yet ready with that.
The digital ecosystem access is the first for an Indonesian football club, taking opportunities to adapt with a rapid technology development. The access is available on Passport Planet Persib, in which supporters can register their emails. Andira Putri and Oswald Nainggolan for See Today.
Definitely a robust move from Persib right now, but what you can see with the digitalization, it becomes an inclusive ecosystem, not only for the fans of Persib, but also for the globally or internationally for the football industry right here in Indonesia. So folks, we're taking another short break right now. We have more for sports later in our program, but after the break, Archie and I will come back again right here to deliver some entertainment updates. You don't go anywhere.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the smack. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
And we have more business updates right here from our nation, where the Association of Indonesian Automotive Manufacturers, or GAIKINDO, reported that over 1 million vehicles were sold in Indonesia last year.
The Indonesian government has announced plans to allocate around 4.8 billion rupiahs for this year's pre-employment program. Now, the program aims to help boost economic recovery, especially for those affected by COVID-related layoffs.
The Indonesian government is once again providing food aid in the form of rice reserves to support the public amid higher prices of the commodity in the market.
Stok bulog sekarang ini alhamdulillah masih pada posisi yang baik. Masih 1,4 juta ton.
Kind of 10 days, the priority has been getting to California and making the miles and saving our money as best we can.
We're going to ride 80 miles tomorrow. We've just ridden 70 and we're all starving.
Took the first couple of corners and felt pretty comfortable, so I thought I might get it.
So that was just too much rear brake. It stalled the engine.
The end of the first day of competition.
The winner of the challenge today was Brody.
Refueled today by generations unborn when they weave their spur. The Cup of Dreams. It's football's biggest prize. On the greatest stage.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling.
A group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Hello, everyone. Yes, we're back, and Archie is here.
Yes,
okay, Archie,
here.
Your friend, Ed Sheeran's. We know that he's a philanthropic spirit that has shined so bright as he donates a substantial £1 million to the department of his alma mater. Beyond being musical sensation, the 32-year-old singer, who is also an avid painter, has extended his support through new grants to Thomas Mills High School in Suffolk.
His generous contribution is set to transform students' learning experiences with a focus on the arts. Notably, it includes the introduction of a new expressive arts course in Year 8 this year, building upon Ed's previous donation to the school's music program in 2022.
Now, Ed Sheeran's commitment to his old school doesn't end there. The singer has previously offered financial assistance for the photography and computer studies, in addition to providing music equipment to a primary school and funding bursaries for families facing financial constraints.
In a recent financial disclosure, it was revealed that Ed, with an estimated net worth of £250 million, contributed significantly to the tax pool, paying an astoundingly nearly £200 million per week in taxes throughout 2022.
Ed Sheeran's LTD is slated to pay £3.1 million in corporation tax, with an additional £5 million from his touring firm. Furthermore, the Grammy winner, known for his diverse ventures, will contribute £124,000 to the exchequer from his property portfolio.
Ed's approach to wealth aligns with his vocal stance on giving back. The photograph musician has consistently emphasized his desire to contribute positively to society, showcasing that his incredible success is not just measured in monetary terms, but in the impact he can make on the world around him. Yes, he does seem like a very generous guy.
Yes.
A humble person with a humble background.
You were telling me that you guys are more practically like buddies now, right?
What do you mean?
He went to your restaurant.
Yes,
Yes,
he
right?
was a guest at my restaurant where I was working at.
Right, and you were just saying how humble he was and
Yeah,
everything.
Just that the way he looks and, you know, he's a humble guy, you know?
That's right.
From a humble beginning.
Again, with such a huge heart, because the way that he's giving out this charity to his old high school, not only for the music department, but also for the arts department and helping those families that needed assistance. I think that just goes beyond, right, to show that he's not only talented, but he does have this empathy.
He has a good heart.
He does. So it does, like, all his songs does translate to who he is as a person.
Yeah, that's right.
That.
That's right. All right, folks, so moving on, as Seoul Fashion Week made a dynamic entrance featuring the chart-topping K-pop sensation New Jeans as the show ambassador is setting the stage for a week of style and creativity.
Now, the fashion extravaganza commenced with the unveiling of designer Park So-young brand July Column, beginning a week that promises cutting-edge designs and also trend-setting moments.
Seoul Fashion Week ignited with unparalleled energy as new jeans took center stage, captivating the audience as the event's esteemed show ambassadors. The fashion extravaganza commenced with the unveiling of designer Park So-young's brand, Julie Column, marking the beginning of a week that promises cutting-edge designs and trend-setting moments. The glamorous photo call, attended by well-known dancer Kahi and designer Joni P, added an extra layer of star power to the kickoff. The synergy of musical talent and fashion innovation was palpable, setting the vibrant tone for Seoul Fashion Week. This year's Fall-Winter Seoul Fashion Week promises a spectacle of fashion and artistry, unfolding at the iconic Dongdaemun Design Plaza and the chic Seongsu factory space. The Seoul Fashion Week runs from February the 1st to the 5th. Fashion enthusiasts can anticipate a fusion of tradition and innovation as the industry's top talents converge to showcase their latest collections.
Yes, next up now is the news from another friend of mine, which this is a true friend actually. Speedy Aliano is currently undergoing cancer treatment in Thailand, a process detailed in an online journal posted on Instagram.
And I just love how he's still very positive now. In his journal video, he candidly mentioned receiving recommendations for the Tanya Samui treatment facility from his followers.
Expressing gratitude for the outpouring of support, Fidi highlighted the positive atmosphere among fellow patients, which significantly contributed to his healing process.
The retreat marks another chapter in Vidi's ongoing fight against kidney cancer, which has been ongoing since 2019. Last September, he revealed the challenging news that his cancer had spread to multiple points, necessitating treatment every 3 weeks.
Hi everyone, this is Vidi and welcome to my online journal. And today is such a good day and let me tell you why. Gue hari ini ada di Koh Samui untuk memulai treatment, nggak treatment sebenarnya, lebih ke retreat di tempat namanya Tanya Samui. Banyak banget teman-teman yang dari beberapa bulan lalu nge-tagin gue tempat ini dan akhirnya gue mendapatkan kesempatan untuk kesini untuk menjalani sebuah retreat sebenarnya untuk mencoba mengobati apa yang ada di dalam badan ini. Dan awal tadi pagi gue nyampe tuh agak lumayan deg-degan karena kita nggak tahu apa yang akan terjadi di sini dan it's gonna be a long journey sebenarnya karena 2 minggu bakal ada di sini. Tapi sampai sini ternyata banyak orang Indonesia dan luar biasa banget karena banyak banget yang di sini, banyak yang sakit kan sebenarnya kesini dan kebanyakan cancer, tapi somehow di sini tuh vibe-nya sangat positif. Gue dapat kayak keluarga baru gitu yang very supportive dan that kind of good vibes just give me goosebumps gitu loh.
I think we've been, going through the journey also with Vidi since 2019. I mean, since he was kind of out in public sharing, his conditions and their journey to him getting healthy and getting better. Again, as I noted before, seeing him always in a very positive attitude and mindset, it blows my mind away. And then I think, sometimes when we hear someone that got cancer, there's always this kind of like a dark shadow under them. But then seeing Vidi like this always put off smiles, and he's still also, becoming one of the judges in Indonesian's music program. It really shows that if you throttle and you strive for your life to survive and to get better, you can in a positive attitude and mindset too.
It gives me goosebumps because it rings very true. And especially that we were just talking about, out of the context, we're talking about F1 and the show Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
And I think he has to drive to survive.
That's
right.
Yes.
Right. So Fidi, if you're hearing this, all the best for you, and hopefully everything will go well.
Yes, and of course, thank you for staying light, staying positive, because you really do inspire all of us here. And another note, we're talking about another singer, but now from the United States, where she is changing her genre. American singer-songwriter Lana Del Rey, known for her indie pop, had revealed her plans to release her first official country album through Billboard's pre-Grammy event last night. Can't believe that. My video games, Lana Del Rey, what happened?
So Lana Del Rey announced about her new country album, which is Lasso, during Billboard's pre-Grammy event in Los Angeles. Collaborating with Jack Antonoff and Luke Laird, Del Rey ventures into country music with his project set for release in September.
Oh, this project marks her 10th studio album following last year's acclaim Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard had nominated her for 5 Grammys.
While Lasso represents Del Rey's official debut in country music, she has previously explored the genre with covers of John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads and Elvis' Unchained Melody.
Her upcoming album promises a fresh direction for the artist, eagerly anticipated by fans and music enthusiasts alike. I mean, I'm a big fan of Lana Del Rey. I have been. I love her old glamour, you know, the raspy voice, and you know, that indie pop, kind of like dark music. But now she's going country.
Yeah,
and y'all know, y'all know how country is, right? Y'all know it's gonna be shine bright like a diamond right there.
Yeah, it's like maybe for Indonesians, you're doing indie pop. Say you're a band Naif or whatever, and then suddenly you're doing dangdut.
That's right. It's something like that. But it's so funny how Taylor Swift had shifted. She started from country.
Yeah, right.
Right? And then now she's more to, of course, she's more as the queen of pop right now known. And we're seeing this kind of like transitioning artists and musicians just cross their genre. But maybe, you know, as a musician, sometimes you're kind of getting bored, or you felt like I'm so staple here. That's right. Yeah. So this is like her journey, and if you love Lana Del Rey just like me, well, just support her. Yes, yes, we do.
You get her album, you buy her album, listen to Spotify.
Don't forget your Cabo hit right there.
Yes, sir. All right, now it's time for some entertainment news, and the critically acclaimed Tiger Stripes will be released on Netflix on February the 14th. So let's have a look.
Tiger Stripes won the Best Film Award at the Cannes Critics Week 2023 and marked a collaborative work of Malaysia, Indonesia, Taiwan, Singapore, France, Germany, the Netherlands, and Qatar. Directed by Amanda Nelliu and produced by Kawan Kawan Media, the film is set to debut on Netflix on February 14th, with plans for a theatrical release in Australia and New Zealand later this month. This coming-of-age movie follows Zafan, a 12-year-old girl living in a small rural village in Malaysia. Zafan, who's the first among her friends to undergo puberty, unravels a distressing secret about her body. Having fear of being labeled as a monster, Zafan struggles to conceal her unique identity at school, yet faces rejection from her peers. She eventually decides to embrace her true self, breaking free from societal norms. Are you interested in watching this movie?
All right, folks, so now we're gonna have another short break, and after the break, Indra will be back with updates from the world of business. So stay tuned with us on the C Morning Show.
Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the daily dose of entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious. You know, it's actually pretty good.
1, 2, 3.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget. Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah. Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi tuh hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Hey, it is 5 minutes to 7 a.m. here in See Today, and this is your See Today business for Friday, February the 2nd. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, has revised its outlook for global growth in 2024, increasing the forecast from 2.9% to 3.1%. This adjustment reflects the IMF anticipation of greater than expected resilience in the United States and various emerging and developing economies, including substantial fiscal support from China. In its recent report, the IMF projects a 3.1% growth for the world's economy, a 2/10 increase from its previous forecast in October 2023. Despite geopolitical uncertainty, the IMF notes that demand and supply side factors in major economies have contributed to a much stronger economic outlook. Despite monetary tightening to combat high inflation, strong private and government spending, especially in the lead up to election in many countries, has facilitated the expansion of demand. Meanwhile, on the supply side, a robust labor force and participation and easing supply chain constraints have resulted in more affordable energy and commodity prices, thereby improving the overall global economic outlook.
The global economy continues to display remarkable resilience, with inflation declining steadily and growth holding up. The chance of a soft landing has increased, but the pace of expansion remains slow and risks remain. Back in the beginning of 2023, there were a preponderance of risks to the downside for economic activity and to the upside for inflation. We were seeing maybe inflation being very persistent. There were a lot of concerns about the fact that the fight against inflation would potentially bring a recession. And 1 year later, we are in a situation where growth has held steady and inflation has been coming down. So that's certainly a very good development.
So as mentioned earlier, this is a surprising. So one of the emerging economy is Russia, and Russia growth in 2024 has been upgraded in massive ways. Now, it's now expecting the Russian economy to grow by 2.6% in 2024, and that's more than double the level it was expecting back in October. Now, however, there's another phase to this. Ukraine allies have imposed a lot of sanctions on Russia. Now, there will be a questions mark with this forecast about the degree to which those sanctions, which were supposed to damage Russian economy, are actually having the desired impact. And one of the things that's going on right now with the UN meeting of the leaders, they're looking at how the economy, especially on the farmers in Europe, is seeing the squeeze and then how it's going to help Russia from their farmer sectors. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve hinted an upcoming shift towards reducing interest rates, signaling the official growing confidence in effectively curbing inflation. The U.S. Federal Reserve on the same day opted to keep its benchmark interest rate steady at a 20-year high of 5.25 to 5.50%, attributing the decision to ongoing economic growth. However, they also suggested that the anticipated trend of lowering borrowing costs may not commence with the near future. Even though inflation has been a significant decrease throughout the year, it still exceeds the Fed's 2% target, while the job market continues to show resilience. When questions about the possibility of a rate cut in March at the committee's next meeting, the response was, it's probably not the most likely scenario.
The committee decided at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, and to continue the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. Inflation has eased notably over the past year, but remains above our longer-run goal of 2%. Total PCE prices rose 2.6% over the 12 months ending in December. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.9%.
And several leading technology companies shared their fourth quarter earnings for 2024 earlier this week. Here are some of the key highlights. Microsoft is riding the wave of AI success with the Q4 2023 earnings report surpassing expectation on both the top and bottom lines. The company reported adjusted earnings per share of $2.93, beating the expected $2.78. Total revenue reached $62 billion, surpassing the anticipated $61.1 billion. Now we move on to Alphabet, where Alphabet revealed quarterly earnings of $1.64 per share. Over the last 4 quarters, the company has exceeded consensus EPS estimated 4 times. This quarter's report represents an earnings surprise of 2.50%. A quarter ago, analysts expected earnings of $1.45 per share, but Alphabet delivered a $1.55 per share, exceeding expectation by 6.90%. AMD released its 8K filing detailing the financial outcome for both the fourth quarters and the full fiscal year of 2023. AMD reported a 10% increase in Q4 revenue year over year, reaching $6.2 billion with significant gross-margin improvement. However, the full-year revenue saw a 4% decline compared to the previous year, standing at $22.7 billion. Now move on to some automotive. General Motors, the company, reported top and bottom line beats for the fourth quarters and issued a 2024 full-year profits guidance that aligned with its initial forecast for 2023 on Tuesday. Share of the automakers closed up 7.8%, reaching their highest level since August 2023. As mentioned before, Microsoft reported their quarterly revenue, and that's thanks to strong demand for its cloud computing, besides also the excitement about the company investment in artificial intelligence. But investors couldn't get excited about the report itself. Now, share fell more than 1% after the reports. Now, meanwhile, Google parents, as we saw earlier, Alphabet had more a meh kind of day when it reported earnings, and just shy a big deal when its division make roughly 80% of the Alphabet top line, which is their ad revenue. Now, the miss sent the company shares down by as much as 5%. Now, besides Alphabet and Microsoft, and we already saw AMD, Amazon just released their reports now. Their achievement rate now is the stocks climbed 4% higher than the extended tradings. And the net share is at $170 billion versus the expectation of $166 billion. At the same time, Meta also already announced their quarterly reports for 2023 Q4. Now, the social media giant seeing an increase on their stock yesterday, even though Mark Zuckerberg was called by the Senate to respond on the allegation of the social media responding on teenagers' addiction to the social media. Now, Meta reported a revenue of $5.33 billion US dollars compared to the expected of 5.33 adjusted EPS compared to the 5.05, and then their revenue is calculated to 40.11 billion US dollars compared to the 39.01 expected this year. At the same time, Apple also already reported their Q1 for the 2024 with the iPhone sales is higher than expected. The iPhone is better even though the Chinese market is slowing down and is down by 13%, and then people are watching on this, and the stocks for Apple is not doing so well during the trading yesterday. Moving on to Indonesia, the Indonesian Central Bureau of Statistics has recently released a report indicating a monthly inflation rate of 0.04% and an annual inflation rate of 2.57%. These figures are lower compared to the inflation in the preceding month, aligning with the target goal set by the Bank Indonesia. Among the major factors contributing to inflation, rice stands out prominently. Ongoing supply shortages, export restrictions, and reduced harvest resulting from adverse weather conditions all play out a significant role in driving up prices for this staple.
The Indonesian Statistics Central Bureau, or BPS, reported that the country's monthly inflation in January was 0.04%, significantly lower than December's 0.4%. Yearly inflation stood at 2.5 to 7%, lower than December and aligning with Bank Indonesia's target of 3 plus minus 1%. The main contributors to monthly inflation were food, drinks, and tobacco, with 0.18% increase driven by rising prices of tomatoes, shallots, and rice. Rice experienced notable inflation in January 2024, affecting 28 provinces, especially in Java, Bali, and Nusa Tenggara. This was attributed to supply shortages, halting rice exports, and the ongoing El Niño weather phenomenon.
Harga beras yang tinggi karena memang pertama kembali lagi ini dipengaruhi oleh supply yang relatif lebih rendah dibandingkan dengan demand yang tinggi, di mana salah satu isu kenaikan harga beras adalah juga karena beberapa negara menahan dari ekspor berasnya, sehingga harga beras di pasar global juga mengalami kenaikan. Sementara itu, kalau di dalam negeri juga panen beras yang relatif lebih rendah dikarenakan faktor cuaca El Nino yang berkepanjangan.
On an annual basis, the primary contributors to inflation were the food, drink, and tobacco group, contributing 5.84%. Commodities such as rice, machine-made cigarettes, garlic, and tomatoes saw the highest price increases.
Now, our neighboring countries, the Philippines, also missed on their GDP target of at the 5.6%, while short of the 7.6% in 2022, missing government target of 6% to 7%. The Philippine economy faced multiple hurdles last year, including soaring food prices and persistent supply chain bottlenecks. And also at the same time, we're seeing Thailand is having a problem with the economy too. In other updates, China's Manufacturing Purchasing Manager Index, or PMI, has contracted for the fourth consecutive month in January. According to the official figures released by China's National Bureau of Statistics, the manufacturing PMI increased from 49 in December to 49.2 in January. A PMI reading above 50 signifies expansion, while a reading below 50 indicates contraction. The most recent PMI data from China Bureau of Statistics suggested continued construction in the manufacturing sector, despite a slight uptick from 49 in the previous month to 49.2. The slight improvement in manufacturing coincides with manufacturers gearing up for the anticipated surge in demand ahead of the lunar year in early February. This trend is reflected in China non-manufacturing PMI index, which saw an improvement from 50.3 in December to 50.7 in January.
从生产的角度来讲的话，应该说是继续在 上个月的50%以上的这么一个景气区间继续还有所回升，也带动了整个指数的增长，尤其是需求的回升，对整个经济的这种平稳增长的话，奠定了非常好的基础。
Let's see today business for today, February 2nd on Friday. Let's take another short break, and after the break, we still have updates from around the world. Stay here on the C Morning Show.
The Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the daily dose of entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible, I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh. Aduh ya Allah. Baru kali ini.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi tuh hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious.
You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
All right, folks, you're back to the C Morning Show, and it's time for some international updates. First up, starting with the bodies of at least 3 people reported killed in airstrikes overnight were brought to Najjar Hospital in the Gaza Strip on Thursday.
Gaza Health Ministry announced that the toll from Israel's nearly 4 months offensive in enclave surpassed the 27,000 Palestinians killed and more than 66,000 people were wounded.
The numbers of deaths has grown by more than 1,100 since the International Criminal Court in The Hague a week ago ordered Israel to do all it can to prevent civilian deaths, destructions, and any acts of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Israel denies the genocide accusations brought against it at the court by South Africa and says it is fighting to destroy Gaza's Hamas rulers.
The case before the court is likely to take years before a final ruling. The ministry said 27,019 Palestinians had been killed and 66,139 wounded since October 7th. It did not specify the number of women and children among the dead, but in previous counts, they have constituted up to 2/3 of the toll.
The ministry's count does not differentiate between civilians and combatants. Israel says it has killed thousands of Hamas militants in the war without providing the basis for their count.
Furthermore, the head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, Felipe Lazzarini, met with Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi in Amman on Thursday as the crisis deepens over the alleged role of some of the agency's staff in October 7 attacks on Israel.
At the meeting, al-Safadi and Lazzarini called on the countries that suspended their aid to the agency to reverse their decision, according to a statement by the Jordanian Foreign Ministry.
The United States and more than a dozen other countries have announced plans to suspend contributions to the agency, also known as UNRWA, after Israel alleged that 12 of its thousands of workers participated in the October 7 attacks.
Al-Safadi and Lazzarini both stressed the need for the international community to take immediate steps to support UNRWA, saying the agency plays an indispensable role for Palestinian refugees and represent the lifeline for more than 2 million Palestinians in Gaza.
Lazzarini also confirmed that the agency began an immediate investigation into the acquisition and terminated the contracts of the accused employees on Wednesday. An area of UN organization warned of the catastrophic consequences for the people of Gaza if key donor countries don't resume funding for the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, the main lifeline for people in the besieged territory.
The World Health Organization and its partners have delivered essential medical supplies to the Nasser Hospital in the Gaza Strip.
According to the WHO, the medical supplies should cater for around 1,000 patients at the crowded medical center in Khan Yunis. The organization and its partners also plan to drop off food supplies, but the delivery was delayed by checkpoint holdups. Officials at Nasser Hospital says the medical team at the complex is currently treating some 400 patients. Doctors says they are struggling to provide proper care as there is a dire shortages of essentials such as gauze and antibiotics. They are unable to clean tools and most often reuse equipment that has not been sterilized properly on more than one patient.
The facility has run out of beds and patients are often treated sitting in chairs or on the floor. According to the head of the surgical department, most of the patients suffered serious wounds during Israeli strikes. Most of them had to undergo abdomen, chest, brain, and limb surgery. The hospital also houses scores of displaced who have sought shelters at the medical facility. They moved to the complex in the hope it would not become a target of Israel's military operation against Hamas militants.
حاليا في مجمع ناصر الطبي في نقص كبير في اكثر من شغله نتيجه الحصار المفروض علينا. في عندنا نقص في الادوات الطبيه، الجوز، الشاش ما في. بنحاول بقد ما نقدر انه نفس الجوز نعمل فيه اكثر من شغله. في عندنا نقص في صواني التفريز، كثير في عندنا نقص فيها الصينيه الوحده بنستعملها باكثر من شغله. احنا اللي بنعقم ما في مكان للتعقيم.
Palestinians expressed concern on Wednesday over the suspension of humanitarian aid delivered by the UNRWA's Gaza, emphasizing the potentially severe and catastrophic impact.
The UN agency has been the main supplier of food, water, and shelter to civilians during the Gaza genocide. UNRWA has been facing repercussions following Israel's allegations that 12 of its employees were involved in the October 7th Hamas attack. In response to these accusations, the U.S. and several other nations have cut off funding, reigniting a debate over Gaza's biggest humanitarian aid provider. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees employs thousands of staff and delivers essential aid and services to millions across the Middle East.
It contends that the entire agency should not be penalized for the alleged action of a few workers who have been held accountable. The UN has further called on donors to resume funding immediately.
A coalition of 28 groups, including the Norwegian Refugee Council, Oxfam, and Save the Children, are also advocating for the restoration of funding, saying UNRWA deliveries of humanitarian assistance cannot be replaced. The United States, the agency's largest donor, initiated the funding cut over the weekend, a move followed by more than a dozen other countries. They collectively provided more than 60% of UNRWA's budget in 2022.
مصيبة كبرى وكارثة الوضع. هي يعني حتى الوكالة هي الجهة الوحيدة الداعمة للشعب الفلسطيني، وهي اللي عندها الإمكانية لتقديم المساعدة. فقطع الدعم عنها يعني قاطع الدعم عن الشعب الفلسطيني، وبالتالي الأوضاع السيئة حتسوء أكثر.
تقليص خدمات الأنورا في غزة مسكر كارثة كبرى على السكان الموجودين هون. هو بوقت السلم كان 70% عايشين على مساعدات الأنورا ومدارس الأنورا وتعليم ببلاش وصحة ببلاش، فما بالك لما يتم تقليص دول كثيرة قلصت المساعدات اللي بيتم تقديمها للأنورا.
All right, we're going to discuss this just a little bit further. From the Israel military camp, Yoav Gallant had told the visiting or told the delegation of United Nations ambassadors that the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency, known as UNRWA, that is founded in 1949 after the Nakba, and actually UNRWA is an organization that helps the Palestinians to get back on their feet, livelihoods and whatnot. But now from the Israel military camp said that UNRWA is a Hamas with a facelift and has lost its legitimacy to exist in its current form. Funds from countries all over the world have been funneled through UNRWA and used for strengthening terror infrastructure and to pay terrorists. These are just accusations because, as you were saying before in the first segment, Indra, there are still no proofs yet of this. Now, we know that several EU countries that had suspended, but Norway now has become one of the countries that says that will resume payments, as the foreign minister of Norway says that is reasonably optimistic that some states had suspended funding would resume payments just like Norway. Speaking to a news outlet earlier this week, the minister said that cutting funding was the wrong reply to the situation right now. He added, as I quote, that smells to me of a collective punishment of everybody who works there, but much more importantly of all the Palestinians that are dependent on the services of UNRWA. Not only the EU countries that might resume payments, but also from the Israel squad from the rights group. Now, the Israel Group Physician for Human Rights Israel has expressed a deep condition and also concerns about the condition that is faced by displaced Palestinians in Gaza, where they said are many living in fragile shelters and tents amid cold temperatures and frigid rain. And they said as the temperature drops and the rain flood Gaza, hundreds of thousands of residents are still living in tents. This week, we spoke to a family of 10 who described huddling together in a tent to keep warm, lying on the muddy ground covered in blankets. So the group posted it in their social media. They're doing what they can to support the Palestinians in Gaza. So we're seeing this kind of two different kind of shades either in the midst of the Israel camp itself. Now, again, we know that since October the 7th, the Israel military has ordered all the Palestinian civilians to go down south from the north, now from the south going to Rafah. And it's already bottlenecked because Rafah is the end of the line. After that is the border of Egypt, and there is no more countries that is opening the door for all these Palestinians. In regards to that, Yoav Gallant said that Israel forces in Gaza will continue to Rafah, near the border of Egypt, and the Khan Yunis Brigade of the Hamas organization is disbanded. We will complete the mission there and continue to Rafah. So with that said, we know that this is a part of their schedule and a part of their agenda. We've known now it's more than 25,000 Palestinians that had lives that had been perished. About 10,000 children had been killed throughout this war now, more than coming into 4 months. But where else should they go? Because they're now just cornered into a corner where the war is going to be intensified there. Khan Yunis is already disabled as we speak right now of all the hospitals and the medical assistance that cannot be done as we just brought the news. So where should all the civilians go? We shall not know. But hopefully right now what Qatar is trying to develop a somewhat win-win solution or a temporary ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, we hope is going to come shine a light on this situation. We'll have the latest updates in regards to what happened in Gaza every day right here in our program. But meanwhile, right now we're going to shift our focus elsewhere, where Chinese government hackers are targeting critical infrastructure inside the United States. FBI Director Chris Wray told House lawmakers on Wednesday.
The warning comes as the Biden administration touts its outreach to China as key in reducing tensions between the two rivals.
White House Bureau Chief Patsy Widakuswara has this report.
Public transport is just one of the critical infrastructure systems in the United States targeted by China, FBI Director Christopher Wray told lawmakers Wednesday.
China's hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities if and when China decides the time has come to strike.
China has previously rejected U.S. hacking allegations as baseless. Wray's warning comes as other officials tout U.S. outreach to China, pointing to new cooperation on counter-narcotics as evidence of reduced tensions. The two sides have also started discussion on artificial intelligence and resumed contact between their militaries.
We agreed that President Biden and President Xi should speak. And should speak by telephone relatively soon. I think the acknowledgement coming out of Woodside that there really is no substitute for leader-to-leader conversation.
A key issue is the U.S. presidential election in November, where Washington is wary of even the appearance of interference from adversaries.
The Chinese are likely to be pretty cautious about interfering, especially with the presidential election. I think we might see some Chinese interference through bots and through online activities with regard to some of the congressional elections, especially if they perceive some members of Congress as being too hawkish on China.
Whether President Xi Jinping promised President Joe Biden in their last meeting in November that China would not meddle in U.S. elections is something National Security Council John Kirby declined to confirm.
We've been clear publicly and we've been clear privately with interlocutors all around the world that we'll do what we have to do to make sure that our elections are free and fair, and they have been and they will continue to be.
Potential for new irritants aside, after a turbulent period last year that included China flying balloons to spy on the U.S., the relationship has largely stabilized.
There's been very active moves by the Biden administration, by the U.S. government, to try and find points of calm where China can engage. And on the part of China, it does seem that there is a willingness which perhaps wasn't there even a year or two ago.
Calm the administration is keen to preserve with a war in the Middle East that could expand. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News at the White House.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged some 200 prisoners of war, the country said on Wednesday.
Now, that comes amid tensions stemming from last week's crash of a military transport plane that Moscow claimed was carrying Ukrainian POWs and was shot down by Kyiv's forces.
Some Russian officials had publicly questioned the possibility of future POW swaps after the January 24th crash of the Il-76 plane in Russia, Belgorod region near the border with Ukraine. Ukraine's ombudsman for human rights, Dmitry Lubinets, said on social media that it was the 50th such exchange since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion nearly 2 years ago, with a total of 3,035 POWs repatriated.
Among the Ukrainians released were members of the armed forces, National Guard, Border Service, and National Police. Some of them had been captured while defending Mariupol, Azovstal, and Snake Island.
Now, Moscow had said that 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war had been aboard the military transport that crashed on January the 24th. Ukrainian officials confirmed that the swap was due to take place that day and was called off, but said Ukraine claimed it has seen no evidence that the plane was carrying these POWs.
European Union leaders will try to persuade Hungary to unblock billions of dollars of EU aid for Ukraine at the crucial summit in Brussels Thursday, as Kyiv warns it is running low on ammunition.
Hungary, through, is likely to demand hefty concessions in return. Now, VOA's Henry Ridgewell reports from London.
At the height of its offensive last year, Ukraine fired up to 7,000 artillery rounds a day, according to European Union estimates. Russian forces fired back up to 20,000 shells daily. As EU heads of state prepare for a Brussels summit Thursday, the bloc's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell, called for more military support.
Ukraine needs more ammunition. There is a big imbalance on the fire capacity from one side and the other, and this gap has to be filled. And this is why this council will take a quite dramatic dimension.
But the EU must first overcome internal splits. At the last Council summit in December, Hungary vetoed a 4-year, $54 billion aid package for Ukraine, arguing the money should not come from the bloc's budget.
That's essentially budget support that Ukraine needs to stay in the war and to stay solvent, but it doesn't aim to increase its military capacity. There is a separate budget line for that is also being held up by Hungary, and that will be discussed as well. And that is a 5 billion top-up to a common fund that the EU has to supply weapons to Ukraine.
Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has long been a thorn in the side of EU unity on Russia and has good relations with its president, Vladimir Putin.
Hungary has refused to join sanctions at the beginning. Hungary has refused to send weapons to Ukraine. Hungary has refused to make Ukraine, to give Ukraine a candidate status for EU membership until it got the return that it wanted.
That return included releasing $11 billion of EU funds to Hungary that had been frozen over concerns about democratic backsliding in the country. The EU is still withholding a further $24 billion, and Orbán will likely demand that some of it is released.
That is a game that Viktor Orbán knows very well how to play, but it's also a game that both the EU and NATO has adapted by now. So I would be very surprised if this is not a stumbling block, which will be resolved, but it will be resolved with concessions towards Hungary.
Brussels has threatened to sabotage Hungary's economy unless it drops its veto of the Ukraine aid, according to a report in the London Financial Times. Budapest has accused the EU of blackmail. Meanwhile, European leaders are also set to discuss an EU naval mission to the Red Sea to protect commercial shipping from attacks by Houthi rebels in Yemen. Agriculture will also be on the agenda amid growing protests by farmers across Europe who complain that cheap imports are destroying their incomes. Henry Ridgewell, VOA News, London.
Right, folks, that's it for international updates for today. And now we're up for another commercial break. When we return, we'll have updates from around Southeast Asia. So keep it here only on the C Morning Show.
China Earthquake Network Center reported that the quake rocked the Ertupen County in Aksu Prefecture shortly after 2 a.m. local time.
Minister January Makamba was a guest in one of our news programs, the 3-Hour News Show yesterday. While he was in the studio, he used the opportunity to explain the current state of diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Indonesia.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia.
Asian flavors is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different when baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Harus naik satu bukit sampai elevasi gua hari itu nyentuh 4.000-an lah.
I kind of want to die.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia itu bergelombol menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
The Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the Daily Dose of Entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Bye.
All right, folks, welcome back to our program. Now we're going to jump into the latest from Southeast Asia region. But before that, let's see what's been happening and, of course, sharing our headlines. Energy's PH, in collaboration with two other entities, has reached a deal to build Southeast Asia's first tidal power plant. The project's onshore storage component enables continuous power delivery as opposed to the frequent blackouts that are common today. The 1 megawatt project will be located on Kapul Island in northern Samar, an area renowned for its powerful marine currents, and will utilize Inhyangna's hydro and tidal stream technology. In late 2025, this project is expected to go to life late of the year. An additional tidal power producing location in northern Samar's San Antonio Island and at Sorsogon's Kalintan Island are being planned by San Bernardino's Ocean Power.
Former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak, who was convicted of corruption, has received a 6-year sentence reduction from the Pardons Board. The announcements came after he served less than 2 years of his sentence. The decision, headed by newly crowned Sultan Ibrahim Iskandar, also includes an unspecified reduction in fines. Najib was the first prime minister to be imprisoned when he was found guilty in the 1M Malaysia Development Berhad scandal. He received a 12-year sentence and a fine of 210 million ringgit, or more than $44 million for criminal breach of trust and power abuse in 2022.
The Vietnamese EV maker VinFast is planning to establish an electric vehicle business network in the Philippines. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. had previously met Vin Group Chairman Pham Nhat Vuong and other senior executives in Hanoi during his recent visit. The discussions were centered on opportunities for collaboration in the development of public services like buses and taxis, as well as training students in artificial intelligence and medicine, in addition to the EV sector. Vin Group has stated the move is expected to increase the availability of electric vehicles in the Philippines and promote the use of sustainable energy sources.
And we'll jump to the first story, and the Thailand's political realm is getting more intensified as the nation's constitutional court has ordered the Move Forward party to stop campaigning for the change to the lèse-majesté law.
Wednesday's ruling, it was believed, might lead to the party's dissolution.
The court has also declared former party leader Pita Limjan Ronrat guilty of attempting to overthrow the monarch.
Other than so, the court instructed PETA and the party to stop the campaign through speech, writing, or any other form of expression to amend the law, which is considered a threat to the monarchy.
As a result of the ruling, party executives cannot participate in elections for 10 years. For his part, PETA has denied the accusations regarding any intention of separating the monarchy from national security.
Oh, absolutely, it's an opportunity lost that we can use the parliament to find, differing views and an opportunity to find the consensus building for such an important and critical and fragile issue that parliament would be the best place to do it. And we lost that opportunity today, yes. We refuse that the attempt was an alibi, nor was it an attempt to cause any deterioration of the monarchy, and did not have any intention of separating the monarchy with the national security. What's my message to the voters? We've tried our best, and we have a very true intention of finding the proportionality of law between the protection of the monarchy and the proportionality of freedom of speech in the modern Thailand. So we have tried our best.
So criticism of the lèse-majesté law and of the royal family has been a taboo in Thailand. But in 2020, actually, mass youth-led protests demanded changes to the role of the monarchy, including an end to lèse-majesté. The protests dwindled after authorities launched a legal crackdown charging the main protest leaders. And since then, more than 260 people, including children, has been prosecuted under lèse-majesté, also known as the Article 112 of the Criminal Code. And cases can be filed by anyone, and the law is interpreted broadly. So, for example, last year, a man was charged, was given a reduced sentence of 2 years for selling satirical calendars featuring a cartoon rubber ducks. That court said it defamed the king. And another one, an activist was sentenced in 2022 to 2 years for wearing fancy dress, which was deemed to be mocking the queen. So these allegations are interpreted it's quite broad, and it's time, maybe time for Thailand to actually amend these laws, and for the more progressive party, the opposition party of PETA, to make changes to these, I think, a very old law. Yeah.
So what do you guys think about monarchs? Because, we see sometimes where we see the royals right now, they could be the face or the ambassador of that certain nation. But in regards of, being in power of the political realm and also regulation, that's already another story, right? We see right now in Britain with the monarchs there, from the Windsor family, we saw that they're always engaging in organizations, something that has to do more with the people, but they can't do anything. Or, I mean, of course, the prime minister still goes there to the palace, but it doesn't mean that, those regulations under them. Now, it's very different right now if we see what is happening in Thailand. So this is something that actually is a case that they need to kind of withdraw, or, they have to kind of like conclude together, because it is the 21st century right now. It is very different than a couple decades ago. And, some people right now are just looking kind of a side eye with the monarchs. I mean, they need to be on the good side of the people if they want to be there, right?
Well, mind you, Thailand, again, throughout the Southeast Asia region, it's one of the countries that never been invaded by any countries because of the monarch itself. So in a sense, we need to look at it from the standpoint that this type of monarchy already exists way before we have what we have the government right now in some of the nations around the Southeast Asian countries. So, so it's quite different than what we want to think of, like how democracy should work in that part of the region, because they've been through this, and they've been through we've been through some colonialism in the country, like from the Dutch, from the Japan, but at the same time, they were able to become their own kingdom. The Siam kingdoms always exist. It never broke down. Nobody were able to penetrate. So it has that different feeling, I guess. I don't know how to articulate it.
Of course.
It's just, it seems different than what we perceive as what democracy should be, because they are built differently.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
I mean, if the people's love, let's say you were mentioning like a couple of, the civilians trying to mock like the monarchs and whatnot. Again, I said as ambassador of the nation, people should love the monarchs, right? They should love the royals. So, but then it has to come, midway. They have to meet in the middle for the people to love the royals, and the royals have to do something to make the people to love them also, especially with the new generation. Because maybe back then when there's no social media, there's no, digital, it's not digitalized forward. People don't know anything, but now you're in Thailand, you're in Indonesia, but you can see what is happening across the world without you living the world, without you living your country, right? So some people, especially for the younger generation, they see and they want to have the life that they saw in other countries and other places around the world. So I guess that's what's kind of shifting, and the waves are shifting right now. And if we're going to see the royals or the Siam royals can also follow the future or the present time, well, it's going to make a better place, I think, for them. But this is something that is going to be a lot deeper for us to discuss and a lot for us to do research more in this matter. Now, again, from Thailand, we're going to shift our focus now to Vietnam, as the sense of environmental protection is becoming more and more popular, especially in the major cities in the country.
In Ho Chi Minh City, there is now a free library encouraging the adoption of sustainable lifestyles. So let's check this out.
I'm standing at a very special library with a lot of books for free reading, a lot of stuff for sale, and stuff collected for the recycling purposes. To the one that follows a zero-waste lifestyle in Ho Chi Minh City, this place should be included into the to-go list because it does not only promote the lifestyle, but also connects people for a lot of activities for the community. The Leafy Home is a unique establishment located in an old house on Hoa Hưng Street, District 10, Ho Chi Minh City. Functioning as more than just a free library, this space is a hub for fostering a sense of community and promoting a sustainable, zero-waste lifestyle.
Tụi mình đã hoạt động hơn 3 năm, tụi mình có một cái thư viện sách cộng đồng nơi mà mọi người có thể đến và mượn sách miễn phí. Mọi người cũng có thể ngồi lại ở cái không gian chia sẻ cộng đồng này để đọc sách. Và tụi mình cũng thường xuyên có những cái dự án xã hội đi tặng sách cho các trẻ em ở vùng sâu vùng xa, nơi mà các trường học, các trẻ em chưa có thư viện sách, chưa có nhiều điều kiện để tiếp xúc với văn hóa đọc.
However, Leafy Home goes beyond being just a library. It serves as a catalyst for inspiring environmentally conscious living. The venue hosts various events that encourage a zero-waste lifestyle, including activities such as old clothes exchange, old battery exchange, and plastic bottle exchange in return to plants. These initiatives not only promote sustainability, but also contribute to building a sense of community engagement.
Hiện tại thì mọi người cũng đã bắt đầu gọi là quen với cái việc mà sống bền vững, sống xanh. Thì những cái hoạt động môi trường của nhà nhiều lá cũng đã bắt đầu thu hút được nhiều người hơn.
I'm going here to exchange clothes to plant, and I will put it on my desk. I usually collect old clothes, battery or bottle, plastic bag to go here to exchange it 1 or 2 months one time.
Tụi mình cũng có khá là nhiều khó khăn. Thứ nhất đó là về không gian. Thì bạn thấy là không gian nó cũng khá là nhỏ, nên là đối với những cái sự kiện mà tụi mình thu gom nhiều rác, giống như là sự kiện đổ quần áo có khi là đến 7 tấn quần áo á, thì tụi mình sẽ không có đủ không gian để mà xử lý, để chứa cái số lượng đó. Thứ hai đó là về nhân sự. Thì những cái sự kiện mà đông á, thì tụi mình thường sẽ bị thiếu các bạn tình nguyện viên đến hỗ trợ, và nó làm cho cái quá trình mà diễn ra sự kiện nó sẽ không được có suôn sẻ. Cái khó khăn nữa đó là về tài chính đi. Thì nói chung là mình nghĩ là tài chính thì chắc là dự án nào cũng sẽ gặp khó khăn. Tụi mình cũng đang cố gắng để phát triển những cái hoạt động, những cái sự kiện của tụi mình để có một cái nguồn quỹ ổn định để duy trì cái không gian cộng đồng này, và cũng như là phát triển những cái dự án xã hội mà chúng mình đang theo đuổi.
Leafy Homes organize pop-up second-hand markets where visitors can find unique items while supporting the principles of recycling and reusing. Besides, it offers refill stations for household essentials and sells a wide range of recycled products, including plant pots, tissues, close, to name just a few. Selling products like this is how the organization are making profit to maintain the environmental friendly activities. Challenges are ahead, but what Nyanyula has made has certainly influenced a number of citizens in Ho Chi Minh City on the zero-waste lifestyle. Tang Huyen Trang, reporting for C Today from Vietnam.
And those were updates from Southeast Asia region. We're taking a step back momentarily right now, folks. When we return, our colleagues Shafir and Ralphie will have a special talk show with the one and only the Chang Truthers that was founded in Bandung 2004, and now it's already 2024. 20 years later, right here in the music realm in Indonesia. We have more to come on Chang Truthers right after this break.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
And we have more business updates right here from our nation, where the Association of Indonesian Automotive Manufacturers, or GAIKINDO, reported that over 1 million vehicles were sold in Indonesia last year.
The Indonesian government has announced plans to allocate around 4.8 billion rupiahs for this year's pre-employment program. Now, the program aims to help boost economic recovery, especially for those affected by COVID-related layoffs.
The Indonesian government is once again providing food aid in the form of rice reserves to support the public amid higher prices of the commodity in the market.
Stok bulog sekarang ini alhamdulillah masih pada posisi yang baik. Masih 1,4 juta ton.
Kind of 10 days, the priority has been getting to California and making the miles, saving our money as best we can.
We're going to ride 80 miles tomorrow. We've just ridden 70 and we're all starving.
Took the first couple of corners and felt pretty comfortable, so I thought I might get it.
So that was just too much rear brake, stalled the engine.
The end of the first day of competition.
The winner of the challenge today was Brody.
Reviewed today by generations unborn when they weaved their spell. The Cup of Dreams. It's football's biggest prize on the greatest stage.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Terkoneksi. Ya oh ya, siapa dirinya? Oh ya ya ya, memang beda, tak seperti biasanya. Naluri pun huru hara, bergembira dan berdansa di alunan irama. Ya oh ya, siapa dirinya? Oh ya ya ya, memang beda.
C Morning Show. So that was the Changchuters with their latest single, Memang Beda. Round of applause.
Belum masuk.
The Changchuters.
Changchuters. How are you?
All the way
Kita bisa switch ke bahasa Indonesia Sunda. Nggak boleh.
Oke. Teman-teman luar biasa, apa kabar?
Alhamdulillah.
Banget ya. Kayak I still remember those days. In every event, interviewed, everything. I met them, the Changchuters. Now they're come back. Guys, terima kasih sudah hadir.
Yes.
Terima kasih loh. Jauh-jauh dari Bandung dan sebagainya. Kali ini mereka hadir dalam rangkaian merilis single mereka yang terbaru. Judulnya adalah Memang Beda. Dan menariknya adalah ini sudah anniversary mereka yang ke-20 tahun. Jadi selama itulah kita mengenal The Changchuters.
Dari 2004 pertama kali. Habis itu film pertamanya 2008. Laris Jabrix, inget banget nonton di bioskop. Sekarang ada di studio bersama kita.
Satu hal, kalian berhasil menjaga body shape. Karena komitmen dari awal.
Iya, jadi karena memang kalau kita itu di manajemen kita ada aturannya bahwa kan biasanya kalau manajemen itu dapat potongannya, kalau dikasih fee dapat potongan fee ya. Kalau kita potongan gizi.
Jadi harus jaga, pokoknya visioner gitu. Dan akhirnya berhasil menjaga itu selama 20 tahun. Ceritain dong tentang Memang Beda. Nah, rilisan tahun
2023 Desember.
2023. Desember. Seperti apa lagu ini, proses kreatifnya kayak gimana gitu?
Iya, jadi Memang Beda ini kita workshopnya di 2023 juga ya. Cukup cepat juga. Jadi sebetulnya waktu akhir-akhir pandemi itu kita udah mulai workshop sebetulnya untuk ngumpulin materi-materi baru lah gitu. Nah, tapi lucunya sih Memang Beda ini justru tidak diambil dari salah satu workshop itu. Kita bikin lagi baru, terus akhirnya oh ini kayaknya beda nih memang gitu, dari kita bikinnya memang beda, terus akhirnya ya udahlah kita rilisin ini aja duluan gitu, jadi single gitu. Yang rencananya juga di tahun ini kita bakal ngerilisin full album nanti.
Nice. Nah, kalau misalnya ditanya tentang kita semua ngelakuin pandemi, semua orang berubah dan sebagainya, tapi kalian berhasil, kita bisa bilang berhasil melewati situasi itu, tetap produktif. Perspektif apa yang muncul atau mungkin cicilan-cicilan ditambah atau
tadi ya Syamila pas kata cicilan keluar mukanya berubah
tambah kejerat pinjol aja.
Amit-amit ya Allah, gitu. Tagihan mah ada lah ya, gitu. Ceritain dong teman-teman.
Apa ya?
Ini Alta ini jawabannya. Kalau urusan yang gitu Alta pun jawaban strategi.
Jadi alhamdulillah kita dari awal punya komitmen secara internal manajemen bahwa teman-teman itu sistemnya udah pakai sistem gaji. Jadi pas masa pandemi itu kita punya saving cash-nya cukup gitu. Pas banget 2 tahun.
Cukup ya.
Alhamdulillah banget.
Changchuters band / financial planner.
Jadi selama ini selama 20 tahun mah personil itu miskin-miskin semua. Yang kaya uang kas.
Uang kasnya cukup.
Uang kasnya yang kaya.
Ya jadi dari awal 2005.
Ya dari awal juga kita udah membagi tugas sih sebagai band. Itu.
Jadi ada yang bagian finance, ada bagian fashion, ya PR sekarang menjadi merangkap manajer. Ini di bisnis.
Menarik banget.
Ya mungkin karena dari kayak begitu tadi akhirnya kita juga berpikir bahwa melihat situasi sekarang itu lebih lebih terbuka sih mungkin ya gitu. Jadi karena waktu pas pandemi itu kita ngerasanya semuanya tertutup, shutdown kan gitu, semuanya shutdown, udah gitu kemudian era digitalisasi itu terasa banget kayak gitu kan. Ini mungkin yang salah satunya akhirnya men-trigger kita ke lagu Si Memang Beda. Selain memang sudah umur ya gitu. Jadi ibaratnya gini, kami itu tidak mau merubah kita kayak harus maksain jadi anak muda lagunya gitu. Tapi tetap keresahannya itu berangkat dari sudut pandang kita, tapi bagaimana cara mentransformnya atau mengkomunikasikannya jadi anak muda diterima anak muda gitu.
Menarik.
Jadi kalau in details gitu ya, berarti Memang Beda ini awalnya datang dari keresahan.
Ya.
Dari semuanya nih berarti.
Ya kan karena waktu pas pandemi itu kita tuh lebih keseringannya bukan manggung tapi meeting ya.
Berlima.
Lagi kita
tetap jalan.
Iya, meeting aja jadi ketemu akhirnya banyak yang diobrolin lah gitu. Ya kalau Si Memang Beda ini sebetulnya cuman ngomongin masalah kenapa sih kita pada ribut aja cuman gara-gara perbedaan. Karena kan sebetulnya satu-satunya persamaan manusia itu kita semua adalah berbeda.
Iya benar luar biasa. Quotable banget nih ya.
Oh iya.
Iya.
Biasa umur 42.
Sekarang gue bilang, oh, itu mungkin yang berbeda.
Iya, memang beda.
Oh kalau dulu nggak ada tuh yang bisa di. Kalau sekarang banyak banget.
Itulah makanya tadi pas ditanya mau panggilnya Om aja lah. Bijaksana.
Om Tria.
Bijaksana dan mapan jangan apa? Bijaksana dan mapan.
Nah, itu. Tapi kalau ngomongin perbedaan, memang beda ini maksudnya beda dalam musikalitas atau beda pendapat atau beda apa sih yang bedanya nih yang mencetak?
Kalau secara global sih ya semua perbedaan lah, apapun itu gitu ya. Jadi yang mau disampaikan di sini kan ibaratnya kenapa kalau gua sama elu berbeda, gua harus sama elu. Padahal ya udah apa namanya nggak harus semuanya orang sama gitu loh.
That's the beauty of it lah.
Ya gitu, karena kita semua memang udah terlahir beda-beda kan gitu, nggak ada yang sama. Nah dari segi musiknya juga kita bikin beda, mungkin kayak baru pertama kali nih kayak misalnya kalau ada yang ada unsur ska-nya misalnya kayak gitu. Tapi tetap vibes-nya bisa kita rasakan The Changcuters banget. Gitu. Terus dari segi liriknya pun kita rasa apa ya kalau bahasa anak-anak absurd lah gitu. Banyak pemadu padanan kata-kata yang nggak biasa kita pakai. Gitu.
Oh oke. Nah tapi gimana teman-teman nih menjaga kayak konsistensinya di musik, maksudnya dalam memilih lagu, terus dalam merilis single memang beda ini, terus menjaga relevansi sama zaman sekarang.
Exactly, karena tadi dibilang dari 2004 kan lah.
2004.
It's been 20 years.
Iya.
20 tahun, udah anniversary 20 tahun dirilis lagu ini dan masih relevan sampai sekarang.
Gimana kalian menjaga
kuncinya satu, yaitu kita punya manajer yang tepat. Manajernya personil juga.
Kebetulan saya butuh manajer, Pak.
Boleh. Bikin manajemen artis.
Buka talent manajemen habis itu di
Kayaknya nggak keurus. Harus mengurus satu fokus.
Fokus dulu. Itu mungkin kalian tetap menjaga The Changcuters sebagai prioritas dan akhirnya terjalan sampai sekarang.
Itu salah satu kunci.
Jadi mungkin dari awal kita emang pada saat pembentukan band ini kan kita mau bikin band rock yang beda yuk dengan yang lain gitu kan. Kita juga penikmat musik rock gitu, suka nonton gigs gitu. Dan mungkin dari situ secara tidak kita sadari kita itu konsisten untuk berbeda kali. Jadi selalu mencari yang berbeda. Misalnya sekarang trennya apa? Oke, trennya ini. Kita ikutin tren itu tapi yang
dari
beda.
Walaupun ya itu bisa berhasil bisa enggak kan. Kita konsisten dengan itu.
Tapi kalian berani banget sih ngejagain manifest dari awal.
Iya, manifest awal dan bereksperimen juga ya.
Salah satunya tadi yang Kibil bilang karena memang kayak begitu apa namanya istilahnya jiwanya ya gitu. Emang kepengennya gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya kadang kita tuh kayak punya ide terus tiba-tiba ngeliat orang lain udah ngelakuin ide yang sama, itu bisa urung niat tuh.
Gak jadi
Gak ada.
Kayak gitu. Ya salah satu, ya buruknya di situ lah. Cuman ya itu tadi gitu. Jadi tetap kita kalau misalnya udah ada yang ini, kita cari celah nih mana yang kira-kira berbeda ya.
Yang beda ya, salah satunya yang bisa di point out dari Changcuters itu fashionnya.
Ya, gayanya.
Yang selalu ya memang beda dan sama gitu. Ya kan? Consistently berbeda gitu kan. Kalau dari unsur fashion sampai dari 2004 sampai sekarang gimana?
Ya itu tadi ya, gimana Bill kalau dari segi fashion Bill?
Misalnya dari fashion ini sebetulnya kita ada benang merahnya sih, kita lebih kayak klasik, vintage gitu. Jadi kita jaga itu mungkin, tapi cari yang bedanya dikit lah. Misalnya dikombinasikan ya apa namanya itu sebutannya tuh? Mix and match. Mix and match aja. Itu juga kalau misalnya diperhatikan gini-gini aja sebenarnya, cuman ada kalau misalnya mobil mungkin di facelift lah. Nggak all new. Sampai nanti mungkin ada inspirasi baru atau tren baru di dunia ini yang
bisa bikin all new ya.
Bisa bikin all new. Selama kita masih relevan seperti ini, kita jalan.
Jadi sebetulnya si ikonik itu terjawab bukan karena kita yang bikin, tapi memang karena kita konsisten melakukan, akhirnya orang ngerasa oh The Changcuters itu berseragam, The Changcuters itu selalu apa ya bahasanya necis lah gitu ya mungkin.
Stylish.
Necis.
Apa elegan.
Ya sorry, saya angkatan 80.
Ada yang beda dulu skinny, sekarang agak
Sekarang kuno. Kalau dulu masa gini ya.
Skinny gitu. Berhasil lo menjaga shape-nya untuk tetap ada di size sama berubah?
Berubah
Dikit lah.
Nambah nggak?
Oh, nambah dikit ya?
Nambah dikit 2-3 kilo lah.
Oke.
Oke, ini menarik banget. Pokoknya mereka memang konsisten dari awal, ingat banget gitu ya. Kenapa mereka selalu detail dan mikirin penampilan? Karena mereka bilang waktu itu aku masih ingat banget gitu ya, bilang nggak kepengen ngeband kayak anak kampus lagi main.
Jadi gini, backstory.
Karena anak kampus kayak gini.
Iya. Jadi kembali
Berhasil berarti.
Berhasil. Backstory jadi kita ngomong kayak gitu tuh karena waktu di zaman kita masih kuliah, kita nonton gigs itu tuh zaman kita kuliah. Jadi begitu lihat ada yang penampilannya kayak kok kerenan yang datang ya gitu. Lu tinggal di Ranselin, tinggal berangkat kuliah gitu.
Tapi sekarang udah keren ya.
Tapi sekarang udah keren-keren.
Sekarang udah keren.
Kita ngomongin fashion ya, kita ingin ngasih lihat satu berita.
Ada beberapa berita nih ya.
Ada berita tentang The Changcuters. Kita ingin tahu reaksi om-om dengan berita ini.
Ini
ada dua berita nih. Yang mana? The Changcuters nggak mau pakai celana ketat lagi. Apakah benar?
Iya. Bukan nggak mau.
Beda konsep.
Ganti konsep.
Beda.
Ganti dulu lah. Ganti ya.
Mungkin tren.
Sebenarnya itu dari tahun 2000 ini tugas akhir nggak tugas akhir 11. Jadi 2011 itu kita konsepnya nih bahasanya udah yang pakai high waist dan celananya agak lebih longgar lah gitu.
Flare gitu ya.
Nah ini berita kedua juga, bye-bye celana ketat, The Changcuters kini tampil lebih dewasa. Memang sudah dewasa.
Memang.
Apa tanda Apa tanda kedewasaan buat teman-teman Changcuters? Apa tanda-tandanya?
Lebih bijaksana, nggak banyak yang diributin.
Ya itu dia baru mau ngomong.
Oh iya.
Udah nggak banyak berantem lah. Gitu.
Kalaupun bijaksana mengatur uang.
Iya. Masa. Enggak sih kalau gua ya. Kalau gua sih enggak, aku aja.
Aduh. Oke.
Nah, juga terakhir nih selama 2 dekade ini kan Changcuters bisa dibilang aja pensi banyak lah, off air banyak juga, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Hampir tiap gig selain apa dari Changcuters. Nah, pernah nggak ada kejadian pas manggung tuh dipanggil Om kayak sekarang? Om, nih panitia. Nih panitia nih. Kalau Om minum apa? Apa?
Udah.
Saya juga.
Contohnya Raffi.
Iya.
Ya karena kan pensi wajar lah ya, maksudnya udah anak-anak SMA.
Iya.
Bedanya juga berapa tahun. Mereka band ini 2004
lahir.
Mereka baru lahir kan.
Iya.
Jadi ya udah, enggak kita sih sebenarnya nggak pernah masalah. Ya itu lucu-lucuan aja kita dipanggil, mau panggil Om gitu, nggak pernah merasa kita jadi dikucilkan kayak tua banget sih lu gitu. Gitu
biasa. Gak apa-apa lah dipanggil Om, yang penting gigsnya lancar.
Iya. Gue sih mikirnya gini, alhamdulillah sampai tua.
Iya.
Ya kan,
Benar banget. Menarik banget ya.
Menarik.
Oke, kita nggak akan berhenti di sini ya kan, karena masih banyak banget yang bakalan kita bahas. We still have more story with them and we're up for our first short break, but have still with the Changcuters right here only on C Morning Show. Stay tuned.
The Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the daily dose of entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious.
You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Hello and welcome back to C Morning Show. It is a very special day. Still here with us, the Changcuters.
Oke, jadi kalau tadi ngobrol komentarin tentang berita. Sekarang kami tuh kemarin sempat melempar pertanyaan kepada citizens, kurang lebih ada 2 jutaan lah ya.
Wah, iya.
Yang masuk
2,4 juta.
gitu. Kan 20 tahun, jadi sepanjang 20 tahun itu.
Cukup kan kalau 2 juta nih?
Kami pilih 4.
Ya, 2 juta pilihnya 4. Susah banget pilihnya tuh, pasti.
Susah.
Oke, langsung ya Q&A-nya nih dia. Pertanyaan yang pertama adalah from citizens.
Apa hukuman buat personal Changcuters yang gendut?
Agak typo dikit.
Dibully.
Gimana?
Sebulan diomongin terus.
Gimana caranya kalian? Maksudnya kayak emang ada ngukur-ngukur gitu tiap bulan?
Apa tiap bulan bang gitu?
Misalnya kayak sempit salah laundry ya. Laundry jadi kebanyakan obatnya.
Kena mental. Obatnya salah tuh. Lu pakai apa nyucinya?
Jadi nggak ada ya?
Sekarang ada isu mental health, kalian udah ngalamin ya?
Alhamdulillah ya lahir dulu ya. Gitu-gitu agak empat.
Kalau satu gendut harus gendut semua berarti.
Benar.
Seragam, biar jadi konsep ya. Luar
Jadi
biasa.
pas ganti kostum tuh bareng-bareng. Gitu.
Mungkin kita tunggu 5 tahun lagi.
Iya, 10 tahun lagi. 10 lah.
Oke, pertanyaan berikut dari citizens. Bagaimana cara menyatukan 5 kepala dalam satu visi yang sama selama puluhan tahun?
Iya.
Semua base di Bandung kan?
Iya.
Semua base di Bandung.
Apa ya? Ya itulah yang paling ini sih secara paling ininya mah komunikasi kali ya. Gitu. Jadi
ego.
Habis itu dari itu baru ego lah gitu. Udah makin tua kan juga udah tua apa sih yang dicari. Tapi gini, ada satu hal yang kita sadarin bahwa kadang-kadang kita tuh ribut masalah perbedaan itu debat cuman gara-gara beda cara padahal ujung-ujungnya sama gitu loh. Maksudnya ngerti nggak? Jadi kalaupun kita dari berlima ini kita suka brainstorming lah gitu. Ujung-ujungnya juga buat ngebagusin The Changcuters kan, jadi ngapain mesti diributin gitu. Jadi akhirnya dari situ ya udah kalau mau pakai cara kibil aja dulu cobain. Nanti kalau misalnya cara gua nggak dipakai, siapa tahu cara kibil misalnya gagal, di kedepannya baru pakai coba.
Ya,
WhatsApp grup mah ada dong?
Ada.
Siapa yang pernah live grup?
Gak ada.
Apa?
Ya ada
Aduh, pernah lagi.
Ik dulu.
Dalam rangka apa menyatukan 5 kepala ini, seiring berjalannya waktu 5 tahun, 10 tahun, 15 tahun, otomatis kayak udah sama aja pemikiran.
Iya, tanpa harus diomongin.
Saking pentingnya
vibrasinya sama.
Jadi misalnya lihat satu objek nih gitu, udah tahu pikirnya pasti sama. Itu bercerita tentang apa.
itu ya.
Luar biasa, luar biasa.
Jadi nggak perlu WhatsApp grup.
Oke.
Buat kostum besok apa?
Sama jadwalnya.
Sama jadwal.
Oke, next. Ada lagi ya? Di single yang baru ada logo kuda dan kambing. Apa ini termasuk tanda evolusi musik?
Atau penggemar Shio? Bukan ya?
Ini urusan visual nih Tria nih.
Iya.
Coba gimana?
Karena keputusan visual tuh ada di
Oh
Tria.
iya itu ya.
Ini mau jawaban yang mana nih? Ada 2 jawaban.
Gak mau dua-duanya aja.
Yang jujurnya ya, yang jujurnya itu tuh kan judul lagunya memang beda. Nah kalau di Bandung tuh ada plesetan, beda itu singkatan dari embe dan kuda.
Oh alah.
Simple.
Beneran.
Simpel itu.
Sudah. Gila
Iya,
sih.
beda.
Orang-orang overthinking tuh emang susah. Wah,
Tapi yang namanya seniman, kan artwork ya, seniman gitu. Ini ada artinya. Kambing sama kuda itu kan adalah hewan yang hampir sama semuanya. Ya nggak sih? Sama-sama kaki 4. Mamalia. Terus makan tumbuhan tuh apa?
Rumput.
Herbivore.
Gitu. Tapi mereka tetap berbeda gitu. Kambing tidak mencoba untuk jadi kuda, kuda tidak mencoba untuk jadi kambing.
Oh,
Itu yang dewasanya.
Kalau yang apa seperti itu ya.
Tetap yang paling pertama kepikiran sih itu embe sama kuda.
Menarik.
Top, Marco top. Oke.
Lagi.
Siap.
Terakhir.
Pertanyaan terakhir.
Kangen filmnya ada rencana buat
Ini yang saya bahas dari tadi, Tariks Jabrix, The Smokers, We Brothers, kata Aryo Bayu tuh gitu. Ingat lagi tuh.
Iya kan, ngomong gitu gue jadi kepikiran nih kan gitu. Jadi apa kita main film lagi ya? Kalau dibilang kangen, kangen. Kangen.
Cuman ya itu tadi, sebenarnya Tarik Jabrik itu kan kita itu memang sudah sepakat cuman 3 trilogi.
Oke.
Jadi belum ada obrolan selanjutnya tentang yang keempat. Dan di mana Tarik Jabrix ini juga sebetulnya secara personalitasnya The Shooters juga, kita tuh selalu bilang The Tarik Jabrix ini project yang sebetulnya berenam. Satu laginya itu direkturnya yang sudah meninggal.
Iya, betul.
Jadi emang agak sulit ya kita untuk bikin Tarik Jabrix lagi. Kalaupun ntar ada film harus Tarik Jabrix berikutnya gitu.
Iya.
Ya, tapi nggak ada yang
Tidak mungkin.
Never say never lah.
Never say never.
Dan itu jadi legasinya Iqbal.
Iya, itu legacy dan lihat ke belakang such a great memory lah.
Yeay. Nah, kalau misalnya dari pengalaman itu gitu ya, film, musik dan sebagainya, mungkin kalian emang nggak akan pernah bisa memilih gitu. Tapi kalau misalnya ada, tadi bilang kenapa enggak gitu, apakah kalian mungkin kepikiran untuk membuat sesuatu hal kayak dulu pernah main, sekarang mau jadi coba mau produksi gitu?
Apa ya, kalau main film sih sebetulnya juga udah kebayang dari dulu juga. Maksudnya gimana ya? Ya mau nggak mau kita bisa dibilang aktor juga gitu, ada di situ juga gitu loh, ada di situ juga gitu. Cuman ya memang mungkin belum nemu konsep yang pas gitu kan, terus juga belum nemu waktunya yang pas gitu.
Kalau bikin produksinya ya pasti ada kepikiran, mungkin tuh next project karena memang ke depannya ya Shooters ini kan bukan sebuah band, tapi dia akan jadi sebuah brand.
Jadi kayak ada turunannya kayak IP. Iya kan? Karena sekarang semuanya ngebentuk IP dan sebagainya.
Jadi itu bukan cuma band tapi bisa brand lain.
Keren.
Luar biasa.
Ini kalau ngomongin tentang perjalanannya The Shooters gitu. Awalnya kalian memang band, ngeluarin album, lagu, film, pokoknya karya-karya di dunia kreatif ini gitu. 20 tahun bukan waktu yang sebentar kan teman-teman gitu. Perbedaan pasti status jelas gitu ya. Ya keluarga dan semuanya. Apa yang paling signifikan gitu perbedaan yang teman-teman rasakan khususnya melihat industri musik sekarang nih gitu.
Oke. Khususnya industri musik. Kalau dari segi industri musiknya dulu aja ya kayaknya. Keren-keren loh yang sekarang nih gitu, maksudnya kayaknya dengan era digital ini jadi informasi banyak masuk, terus ya gue lihat juga kayak mohon maaf ya kayak yang sekarang musisi-musisi baru ini, mereka ini dari segi ide, dari segi skill, dari segi genrenya pun udah mulai sub-subnya tuh banyak banget dan hasil karyanya bagus-bagus. Kepengen banget gitu Indonesia tuh bisa menginvasi dunia melalui musik, kalau gue sih gitu, kepengennya gue gitu. Itu bagus banget. Kalau dari kita, perbedaan kita apa boy? Yang signifikan. Kan bingung jawabnya Pak.
Enggak ya kalian yang terlalu banyak ya.
Tiba-tiba 20 tahun jalan aja gitu ya?
Iya, gue sih kayak, kita mungkin kayak ngerasa kayak baru, gue masih inget banget pertama kali manggung, kayak baru kemarin gitu.
Ya mungkin ya ini aja sih, maksudnya perjalanan kita dari band yang dulunya cuman mungkin kayak hobi hura-hura, sekarang lebih udah mikirin ke depannya ini 10 tahun lagi band ini mau ngapain. Kalau dulu mungkin, yang penting besok manggung, atau minggu depan ada manggung. Kalau sekarang udah kita lebih mikirin, ya gimana sih brand ini tetap bertahan bahkan sampai kita jauh udah nggak ada juga gitu.
Wow, kudos, alright. Album ya, album tahun ini album.
Insya Allah.
Konser tunggal.
Konser tunggal dulu sih sebenarnya.
Belum pernah bikin konser tunggal ya. Oke, ini bakal menarik banget ya kan, menggabungkan yang mungkin 20 tahun lalu sama anak sekarang. Ya kan? Ini menarik banget nih ya. Biasa bikin musik rame-rame selalu 5, sekarang kita challenge aja.
Bener ya?
Kita challenge aja gimana nih ya.
Apa?
Gini, jadi kami tuh punya beberapa kata-kata di mana teman-teman The Shooters nanti ditantang untuk membuat mungkin lirik kali ya. Sekalimat aja. Sekalimat aja, ada beberapa kata yang bakalan kami sampaikan. Pakai nada
dikit.
Pakai nada. Oke, langsung. Yang pertama adalah
petak umpet.
Petak umpet.
Jadi mulai dari dulu.
Semuanya, ayo.
Semuanya.
Barengan.
Bareng-bareng aja.
Katanya kompak.
Petak umpet diapain?
Dibikin satu
lirik lah.
Satu lirik kalimat gitu.
Tapi ada
3, 2, 1.
Ku lagi senang.
Senang apa?
Bermain petak umpet bersama teman-teman.
Jadi
sampai ketangkap.
Belakangnya teman-teman. Sampai
jadi lagu anak ya.
Iya. Jangan sampai keserimpet.
Bisa.
Lagi.
Lagu anak. Oke. Yang kedua katanya adalah gagah perkasa.
Gagah perkasa.
Mana?
3, 2, 1.
Lihat di sana
Ada seorang yang gagah perkasa. Badannya besar. Tulangnya kuat.
Iklan
tangannya kasar. Itulah Gatot Kaca.
Gatot Kaca. Aduh, lagi.
Tulang kuat, badan besar tulang kuat dikira iklan susu.
Oke. Racun dunia.
Dunia. Oh ada nih.
Coba.
Racun. Banget tuh racun. Matilah judaraku, memang kau racun.
Coba.
Wanita racun dunia.
Pas banget.
Lagi ya.
Cepet ya racun dunia. Dapat lagunya ya. Terakhir nih ya.
Oke.
Untuk juga ngomongin umur Changchuters mungkin yang beranjak dewasa ini. Kalau manusia umur 20, nah itu mulai masuk lagi kuliah tuh.
Iya.
Lagi mencari jati diri. Iya kan? Lagi kuliah tuh. Tapi di umur 20 tahun ini apa nih yang kita bisa expect dari Changchuters?
Apa ya?
Lebih dewasa ya?
Pasti.
Kalian bisa expect The Changchuters yang masih sama dari 1-2 tahun yang lalu lah. Maksudnya waktu kita masih umur 1-2 tahun lah gitu. Maksudnya masih kita tuh bakal masih sama gitu. Tidak akan ada, ya insya Allah kita tidak mengurangi apapun yang kalian tahu tentang The Changchuters. Misalnya The Changchuters misalnya dikenal energi, kita masih akan bisa energi. The Changchuters masih akan menghibur dengan secara fun gitu. Lagu-lagunya masih yang temponya menyenangkan gitu. Ya mungkin itu dan selebihnya aksi panggung gitu mungkin. Skill yang udah meningkat. Gitu. Skill dewa.
Dewa apa?
Kalau comeback style rambut apakah akan kita lihat?
Comeback style rambut mungkin bisa jadi kalau
itu kan ikonik banget dulu ya.
Iya sih.
Mas Sama dan Mas Om Tria dengan pompadournya.
Semoga tidak terjadi penuaan pada rambut ya. Gitu kan.
Alright, it's always pleasure, always been fun to have a nice conversation with the Changchuters, but we are not going to farewell with them very soon because we will still have more performances from the Changchuters.
So don't go anywhere. Stay with us here on the C Morning Show on C Today. Changchuters.
Kau berkelana Kenduka rasa sepak bola Bukan Italia Bukan juga Argentina Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Kapten Gibil berangkat! Dimanapun kalian berada, siap! 1, 2, 3, let's go! Kau berkelana ke negara sepak bola. Oh bukan Italia, bukan juga Argentina. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Dia tinggal cinta buat aku tak berdaya, gundah gulana ingin aku menyusulnya. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. All right, everybody. Dia jauh, dia jauh. Aku rindu, aku rindu. London, London, ingin ku ke sana. London, London, pergi menyusulnya. London, London. London, 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 ingin ku ke sana. London, London, pergi menyusulnya. London, London, ingin ku ke sana. Loncat, loncat, and 1, 2, 3. London, London, ingin ku ke sana. London, London, pergi menyusul. Dan dia jauh, aku rindu. Oh yeah, dia jauh, aku rindu. Oh
Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the daily dose of entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
So spicy.
Absolutely delicious.
You know, it's actually pretty good.
Satu, dua, tiga.
Come see the nature, only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Only on See Indonesia.
Hello folks, welcome back to the program. Yes, as we just watched the Changchuters in their 20th journey, now we have someone that is very inspiring in our studios. In regards to this, where Indonesia has a major plastic waste problem on its hands and the crisis extends beyond the ocean and into the nation's rivers. Every year, around 8 million tons of plastics are dumped into the ocean, and Indonesia contributes more than 600,000 tons of that. This is according to the estimates by the Indonesian Institute of Sciences. Currently, Indonesia is the top 4 of the most marine polluting countries in the world.
Yes, among the concrete actions taken are the prohibiting the dumping of waste onto beaches and organizing regular cleanup activities involving local residents, like what an organization called Langit Biru Pertiwi does. Their mission is to clean the ocean as well as to educate local communities.
Furthermore, the cleanup also raised public awareness about the threat of plastic waste on marine environment and to keep the shores clean and safe. And with that said, right now we're going to learn more about this community and find out more about their efforts and also challenges. Let's meet our guest today, the founder and CEO of Langit Biru Pertiwi, Mbak Nadia Mulya. Thank you so much. Oh, look at you. Very stunning.
Thank you.
We're wearing blue, and you're perfect for this.
Yes. Because I saw the e-flyer is blue. Okay, I'm not going to wear blue. I'm going to do something completely the opposite. Wow, I'm looking at myself on the monitor. It's really shiny.
You look fabulous as always,
you.
especially on your engagement on this, right?
Yeah.
And for you to tackle our environmental issues, especially right here in Indonesia. Let's talk more about Langit Biru Pertiwi. So what really inspired you to kind of found Langit Biru Pertiwi?
Okay, so first of all, like my parents taught me from a very young age the very basic things in life, which I think is the foundation of having a sustainable kind of lifestyle. For example, you know, finish your food, don't use plastic waste, be mindful of your consumption and everything. So. Right. I was just living according to that, and then one day I was doing a show as well, and I had guests, and they were from Gerakan Indonesia Diet Kantong Plastik, and when I was interviewing them, I'm like, hang on, they're doing exactly what I'm doing. So I said, can I be a volunteer? And from then on, it was in 2016, and then we joined forces with Jakarta Beach Cleanup, with Jakarta Paddle Club, with 3D Oasis, with Miss Scuba Indonesia. And then because we like to do outdoor activities like cleaning up Ciliwung, cleaning up the roads of Jakarta, and also cleaning up the beaches, we decided, okay, so let's make this more into something, not just a sporadic movement, let's make this a regular thing. So we decided to make it more intense, and then companies started to ask us to do their ESG, CSRs, activities, and then we're like, okay, let's make this into a company. So we made this into PT Langit Biru Pertiwi.
Right.
And the reason behind the name is Langit Biru, because I think that's the thing that makes you like really, this is what gives me energy in the morning. You know,
Yeah.
you wake up, you open the windows, the shades, and then you look up the sky, and then you see clear blue skies. It's just a dose of happiness, you know. And Jakarta had issues with the pollution a few days back, and then I actually felt the energy around me, my kids and my friends and families are like so dreary, so gloomy. But now I'm so happy. I was driving here and then I looked at the sky. It's blue, you know. It's giving you a dose of happiness, of energy. So that's the kind of feeling that I want with Langit Biru Pertiwi. So. As we're now venturing into wider movements, we're doing coral plantation, we're doing mangrove planting, we're doing reusable cups instead of single-use plastic cups, you know. So that's the kind of energy that I want in Langit Biru Pertiwi, and also in everybody's lifestyle who's stumbling across my Instagram or Langit Biru's Instagram page.
That's really great to kind of like shift our focus, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's, I mean, I'm curious about the activities that you do with Langit Biru Pertiwi in terms of the beach cleanup.
Yeah.
Both in the past and in the future plans. What is actually the plans for the company? Yeah.
Well, again, before it was more of like organic movement. We were doing this, but then because we're getting so much attention, I want this to become something much more sustainable. So that's why whenever we're doing our beach cleanup activities, it's not just like we go there and we just clean it up, that's it. We also do education, we also do advocacy, we also, the trash that we collect, we segregate them. The ones that we can recycle, we recycle as well. And then whenever we go there, we never want to create more waste, more trash. So we always bring, we ask everybody to bring their own tumblers, to bring their own cutleries. And even when we have to feed the people there, we're always bringing our own lunch boxes and we bring them back. So asking about your question about what is the future endeavors for Langit Biru Pertiwi, it's also based on that. So whenever we're doing something, I see an opportunity here. That's why We're now doing, it's called balikin. We're doing reusable cups that I mentioned before. And if you guys are going to Car Free Day on Sunday, you're going to see me because I'm working with Jakarta Women Half Marathon. So we're replacing the single-use plastic cups with the balikin cups. So that's also another project that Langit Biru Pertiwi is doing. But the bottom line is we just want to change people's mindset, people's behavior in using single-use plastics.
That's right. So, I mean, you were tapping on plastic waste, Mbak Nadia. In regards to this, if we're talking about major cities, this includes Jakarta, Surabaya, Bali, I think people are more aware, especially in Bali. But we do understand also, especially, you know, for the low or mid and low income and MSMEs, sometimes they're like street vendors, they're still using this because it is the most cheapest, it is the most easiest for them to, for them to use, for them to have their business and then to, you know, you just use plastic and that's it.
Yeah.
It's very economical for them too.
Right.
So how can we penetrate the education to educate them to kind of, you know, it maybe takes a little couple of rupiah, but then you're going to save the environment too, and it's going to do good for your business and also for the environment. How to penetrate that certain community?
How to ignite behavior change, right?
Curious about that as well.
I am too. That's why I'm taking psychology again. I'm taking a bachelor's degree in psychology. And one of the mata kuliah, one of the topics that I'm very interested in is behavior change.
Right.
So I'm curious about that too, because I'm trying so many ways. We're trying through education, we're trying to monetary incentives and everything like that. But the narrative that I'm trying to do now is, did you see Gadis Kretek?
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And then when I was watching Gadis Kretek, it was so viral. Everybody was watching it, and I noticed one thing: there wasn't a single-use plastic there. So what I'm trying to, the narrative I'm trying to bring up is that Indonesia didn't use plastic in the 1960s or before that.
Right.
We're very close with the earth. We use banana leaves, we use all sorts of leaves, we use tas purun, and even in the scene where she was doing the photocopy machine, they didn't put it in a plastic sheet. They wrapped it with brown paper. So I'm like, we were there before. Life was fine. We were very close with Mother Earth. We lived a very sustainable and happy life.
Yes.
We can go there again.
Yes.
Right.
So I think just trying to empower the Indonesian people, thinking that, you know, this is us actually.
Yes.
We're not the single-use, consumptive kind of people that the big multinational companies want us to be.
Yeah.
So just giving them a chance and being proud of Indonesia, being Indonesian and kearifan lokal and all those kind of things that's the way that I want to try and bring it in, you know, to make people do this with pride.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it as their connection to the earth, as being an Indonesian.
Yes, and be aware also. I mean, again, people, sometimes like if you don't know, then you would not love it. And this is a time for people to understand and also to love.
Yeah, because beforehand when it was so difficult, because I was also the one who brought the petition about the elimination of single-use plastic in 2016. Before I remembered, it was so difficult for us to bring the shopping bags when we go shopping, right?
Yeah.
But now it's already, it's the norm.
Yeah, it's like a second habit.
Yeah, it's already a habit now. And then people are bringing tumblers wherever they go. So behavior change, it takes a lot of effort. But once everybody is doing it, it becomes a lifestyle. So I have, although like you said, a lot of people, whatever their background is, like some people I know, they're like high class, well educated, they still throw trash, they don't finish their food or something like that. It's, regardless of that, once you do it and then you see that it's not a hassle, everybody else is doing it, you feel good afterwards, you know, hopefully that will be the basis of their behavior change. It's going to be something sustainable, something that they do because it defines who they are.
Right. Because this is definitely not going to be just Langit Biru Pertiwi's work, right? It needs to be a collective effort.
Yes.
Everyone else in the industry, in the consumer side, everyone. And what do you think will motivate, especially the youths, to be more aware of their environment, to be reducing their single-use plastics? Yes.
That's why I have huge hopes now, because everybody's saying Gen Zs, the younger generation, they're more into this, they're more aware, and they're looking up to people who have a sustainable lifestyle. So I'm actually very hopeful because a lot of behavior change, a lot of initiatives are coming from these younger generations. So yeah, I think as long as we all join forces, because there are so many NGOs out there, there's so many communities, companies, just join forces, you know, just educate yourself, just collaborate, because I think collaborate is key. So whenever we also do the beach cleanup, we'd meet new people, and then we'd venture into new things, we'd collaborate more. And as an environmental activist, environmental enthusiast, we're just so excited to support each other's movement. So like, whenever my friend has a movement, and I'm like, okay, let me help. What can I do? Can I be a volunteer? Can I post on my social media? Can I hook you up with somebody? And then we create a very supportive ecosystem.
Yeah.
So I think, because when you're doing all of these social movements, environmental activism, you feel young. You feel it gives you energy, you know? And then you attract equally positive energy people. So so it's always, you can see how I'm excited.
Yes, you can. It's a good energy. And every step as always matters. And in that regards, is there a particular area in Indonesia that Langit Biru Pertiwi is tapping on or more concentrating on in regards to the plastic waste?
The thing is, every time we do a cleanup, like last time we did in Anyer, from the communities, for example, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much for doing this. We need so much help. Please help raise awareness. We need a TPS, we need a TPA and everything like that, you know? So I think every single destination we go to, we also did one in Danau Toba, it's always the same. When people see that the impact that can be created, it gives them more energy. So for me, it's not about which area we're going to concentrate on. I want to be able to spread our wings as wide as we can.
Okay.
And starting from this month, end of this month, we're going to be doing regular cleanups. At the moment, we're focusing on Jakarta, Tangerang, Bogor, Bekasi, Depok. So if you guys want to come and join, be a volunteer.
Yes.
We're going to be doing activities every end of the month. So yeah, hopefully with that. And along the way, people are going to say, can you come and visit my place, my area? We need help, like that. So just doing a cleanup, one cleanup at a time, and hopefully it will open new doors.
It is such a good regulatory kind of agenda now for those certain communities on the areas or the regions that you already mentioned before, because, you know, my following question was, let's say you were in Danau Toba, you were doing the beach cleanup only for one time, but how can Langit Biru Pertiwi assess, okay, we did it with you guys. So it should be a common, common activity for you. Let's say, let's do it for every week for us to clean it. So then it would not be such a big hassle for us to do it every month. Do you, Langit Biru Pertiwi, also assess those communities and also the regions?
Well, basically, whenever we do something, we want it to be sustainable. We want it to have a lasting impact. So we actually have a framework. Like, doing cleanups is only the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
It ignites awareness. It evokes your love for nature, because when you love nature, you want to keep it clean, right? So it starts from there. But later on, if you want to make it a habit, you need to do it continuously.
Yes.
You need to make it into your daily lifestyle. So next, we can assess by saying, okay, we're going to be doing this regularly. We're partnering up with local communities. And then one of our bigger goal after we do the cleanups, the beach to river cleanups, is to have a bank sampah, waste bag. So because always the problem is there's two sides of the story when you're talking about waste, plastic waste especially. The picking up, the cleaning up, and where you divert it. Because most of it goes to the landfill again and again. It goes to the landfill. Some people input this amount of plastic waste, and then the output is this much. So you can monitor, because once you have sound data, then you can make really proper policies, sound policies from that.
And also incentives, because I remember back in the days when I was back in the US, like we would recycle, and then every week my parents would take me, let's go, and we'll get a couple of change and pocket money for the children. It's something that you know from the behavior also. Yeah,
absolutely. Yes, thank you, Manadia, for joining us today in the studio.
There's still so many that we would like to discuss and dissect of Langit Biru Pertiwi.
But sadly, we're out of time. So thank you so much again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
what you do can inspire many youths and many others who are watching the program and not watching the program to also do the same like you did.
Yeah, we're definitely inspired by you. And of course, I want to get your freshness. If I can have that ability of my behavior of saving their environment and be as gorgeous as Manani Bonia, I'm going to take on for it. But thank you so much for your time. We'll talk more with you later on. And of course, right here on the C Morning Show. But right now, we're taking a quick break. And after that, what do we have, Archie?
We have a sports update
That's right.
from the world of F1 and NBA with Carol right here.
China Earthquake Network Center reported that the quake rocked the Ertupen County in Aksu Prefecture shortly after 2 a.m. local time.
Minister January Makamba was a guest in one of our news programs, a 3-hour news show yesterday. While he was in the studio, he used the opportunity to explain the current state of diplomatic ties between Tanzania and Indonesia.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir di ketiganya.
Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister Retno Marsudi addressed the UN Security Council during an open debate in New York.
Ini adalah open debate Dewan Keamanan PBB ketiga mengenai Gaza dalam 3 bulan terakhir dan Indonesia hadir.
Is gaining more popularity around the world in the last decade. Personally love this, not just because it is familiar for our palate, but because the airiness, the textures of the youtiao, it's completely different when baguette. So with those appetites and with those pleasure-driven people, Menteng is a very special place for restaurant.
Satu bukit sampai elevasi gua hari itu nyentuh 4.000-an lah.
I kind of want to die.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, lebih panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
The Indonesian State-Owned Enterprises Ministry has underlined its commitment to supporting small and medium enterprises by launching vending machines at Soekarno-Hatta International Airport.
Qatar has advanced to the quarterfinals of the 2023 AFC Asian Cup after defeating Palestine 2-1 in the round of 16 at the Al Ayed Stadium in Al Khor.
So we'll be back with the daily dose of entertainment. See Indonesia, see the world, see today.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the C Morning Show right here on C Today. It is a Friday edition. It's time for some sports updates coming up hot from Formula One, where the 7-time Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton will make a surprise move to Ferrari for the 2025 season. And Mercedes have issued a statement confirming Hamilton had activated the release clause in his contract and will leave at the end of the season. Hamilton was and has raced for Mercedes since 2013 and signed a contract extension with the team last year. That deal appeared to end speculation over Hamilton's future, potentially seeing him through to the end of his career. But rumors linking him with Ferrari have resurfaced. The Italian team could have likely a vacancy for 2025 with Carlos Sainz's contract due to expire at the end of the current year. Ferrari's other driver, Charles Leclerc, recently agreed a new long-term deal, and the move by Hamilton will end extraordinarily successful partnership, which saw him winning 6 world titles between 2014 to 2020. However, Mercedes have then since fallen off the pace, and Hamilton has not won a race since 2021. Now to an NBA update where Anthony Simmons scored 24 points, including a key floater with 17.1 seconds left, and the Trailblazers spoiled former teammate Damian Lillard to return to Portland with a 119-116 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks on Wednesday night. Lillard had finished with 25 points for the Bucks in their second straight loss under the new coach Doc Rivers. Giannis Antetokounmpo added 27 points and 8 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton had 20 points and 11 rebounds for the Blazers, who have won 2 straight. It was Lillard's first game in Portland since he was traded to the Bucks in the offseason. Lillard was the face of the Blazers franchise for his first 11 seasons in the NBA.
Working against Beasley.
Meanwhile, Kevin Durant scored 33 points in his return to Brooklyn, leading the Phoenix Suns to a 136-120 victory over the Nets on Wednesday night.
Phoenix Suns beat Brooklyn Nets 136-120 on Wednesday night. Kevin Durant added 8 assists in his first game in Brooklyn since being traded to Phoenix nearly a year ago. He got a mixed reception early before helping take the crowd out of it with 11 points in the third quarter when his Suns outscored the Nets 42-26 after leading by 3 at halftime. The Suns with Durant, David Brooker, and Bradley Beal are trying to build a little contender, while the Nets, who not long ago had their own big three with Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, are 19-28 and outside playoff position. Yusuf Nurkic added 28 points and 11 rebounds for the Suns, overwhelming an undersized net teams as the Suns won for the 9th time in 11 games. They improved to 3-2 on the trip that has tops remaining in Atlanta and Washington, Bill's former home. Brooker finished with a 22-point and Eric Gordon had 17. The Suns shot 62% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
And those were the sports recap from our earlier segment. It's time for our last break of the day. And of course, we have one more segment left. It is the entertainment update. Don't go anywhere.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on this map. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
And we have more business updates right here from our nation, where the Association of Indonesian Automotive Manufacturers, or GAIKINDO, reported that over 1 million vehicles were sold in Indonesia last year.
The Indonesian government has announced plans to allocate around 4.8 billion rupiahs for this year's pre-employment program. Now, the program aims to help boost economic recovery, especially for those affected by COVID-related layoffs.
The Indonesian government is once again providing food aid in the form of rice reserves to support the public amid higher prices of the commodity in the market.
Stok bulog sekarang ini alhamdulillah masih pada posisi yang baik. Masih 1,4 juta ton.
Kind of 10 days, the priority has been getting to California and making the miles and saving our money as best we can.
We're going to ride 80 miles tomorrow. We've just ridden 70 and we're all starving.
Took the first couple of corners and felt pretty comfortable, so I thought I might get it.
So that was just too much rear brake, stalled the engine.
The end of the first day of competition.
The winner of the challenge today was Brody.
Revealed today by generations unborn when they weave their spell. The couple dreams. It's football's biggest prize on the greatest stage.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi. Cakep. Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young.
Saya mungkin waktu itu memang lemah, tapi bagi saya fisik itu hanya seberapa persen dari kemampuan kita. Yang penting adalah ide. Di anak-anak muda jangan pernah putus asa.
All right, folks and gentlemen, so that is our last leg of the show. Yes, some entertainment. Now we get the buddy of Archie. I love to say that, by the way. Ed Sheeran, the philanthropic spirit, shines bright as he donates a substantial £1 million to the art department of his alma mater. Or beyond being a musical sensation, the 32-year-old singer, who is also an avid painter, has extended his support through the new grants to Thomas Mills High School in Sepang.
This generous contribution is set to transport students' learning experiences with a focus on arts. Notably, it includes the introduction of a new expressive art course in years 8. This year, building upon Ed's previous donation to the school's music program in 2022.
Ed Sheeran's commitment to his old school doesn't end there. So the singer has also previously offered financial assistance for the photography and computer studies, in addition to providing music equipment to a primary school and funding bursaries for families facing financial constraints.
Oh, Ed, you have a big heart. In a recent financial disclosure, it was revealed that Ed, with an estimated net worth of £250 million, contributed significantly to the tax pool, paying an astounding nearly £200 million per week in taxes throughout 2022.
Ed Sheeran Ltd is slated to pay £3.1 million in corporation tax, with an additional £5 million from his touring firm. Furthermore, the Grammy winner, known for his diverse ventures, will contribute £124,000 to the exchequer for his property portfolio.
Ed's approach to wealth aligns with his vocal stance on giving back. The photograph musician has consistently emphasized his desire to contribute positively to society, showcasing that his incredible success is not just measured in monetary terms, but in the impact he can make on the world around him.
He is such a patriotic man, right? He's paying all his taxes, contributing a lot to his nation and country. He's such a countryman right there. All right.
One more story. Seoul Fashion Week made a dynamic entrance featuring the chart-topping K-pop sensation New Jeans as the show ambassador, setting the stage for a week of style and creativity.
The fashion extravaganza commenced with the unveiling of designer Park So-young's brand, which is Julie Column, beginning a week that promises cutting-edge designs and trend-setting moments.
Seoul Fashion Week ignited with unparalleled energy as New Jeans took center stage, captivating the audience as the event's esteemed show ambassadors. The fashion extravaganza commenced with the unveiling of designer Park So-young's brand, Julie Column, marking the beginning of a week that promises cutting-edge designs and trend-setting moments. The glamorous photo call, attended by well-known dancer Kahi and designer Joni P, added an extra layer of star power to the kickoff. The synergy of musical talent and fashion innovation was palpable, setting the vibrant tone for Seoul Fashion Week. This year's Fall-Winter Seoul Fashion Week promises a spectacle of fashion and artistry, unfolding at the iconic Dongdaemun Design Plaza and the chic Seongsu factory space. The Seoul Fashion Week runs from February the 1st to the 5th. Fashion enthusiasts can anticipate a fusion of tradition and innovation as the industry's top talents converge to showcase their latest collections.
All right, everyone, it's that time of hour in the day for us to sign out because 9 o'clock on the dot, and that does it and wraps up our today's episode of the C Morning Show on C Today. Be sure to always follow us on our social media for the latest updates. You can find us on Instagram, X, and also YouTube channel in our handle C Today News.
C Today can now be enjoyed in Australia on Foxtel Flash OTT platform, Flash app, or in Macau Cable TV channel 84. Or if you're in the Philippines, you can also watch us in the Converge Visions channel 58, and Singtel Singapore at channel 15, and StarHub at channel 720.
For Telkomsel users, you can also watch it today on the Maxstream app. And don't forget to also tune in again tomorrow, same time, same channel, and be sure to also catch our afternoon show every day at 5 p.m. I'm Archie Pramswara.
I'm Indra Marpaung.
I'm Caroline Surahbani. We would like to say happy Friday, everybody. See Indonesia, see the world,
see today.
I forgot my name.
Friday.
Hello guys, back again with me, Chef Raihan, only on Satisfactory. Cook healthy and cook happy. For the first dish in this episode, I'm gonna make some charred eggplant with chili and tahini sauce. We have all ingredients in here. We have the eggplant, and then a little bit of mint leaf, cilantro leaf. For the sauce, we added some paprika, olive oil,